Who?
They all wanna know how I live my life, how I spend my money, how I treat my mom, why. But I hope that he don't show them what I'm truly like. Cause if he does, then my 2 big bills won't get paid on time. Cause I can't afford to lose another pay pick. June's gonna make everybody think I'm crazy. Show the world how I made a stationary statement. Slave trade joke, but I swear I'm not a racist. I said I loved you, but I didn't mean it. All I'm feels a nagger, eat it. Skin complexion like a white cheddar cheese it. And I'm getting that feeling anytime June. Please don't ask my viewers why they could. Yeah, he gon' show my lousy interview. You can eat it with a spoon. Cause in time, gambling, addiction, alcohol abuse. Cash advances for money matches I lose. You can eat it with a spoon. Cause in time, June, I got a feeling June gon' call me out. But DoorDash and everything, even though I have gout. Shrimp bowls and barbecue, I'm in the mood to chow. Gonna order a lot of food, some gabagool, and I want it right now. He's gonna expose me and I ain't ready for it. 672 and Derek, I hope he ignores him. I'm just a little streamer and I can't really afford it. I swear to God, if he slanders me, I'll get a lawyer. I don't know what to do, so I'll act nice. Try to beg less, yeah, right. Stop talking about steak, this is my night. Dog's coming out, so I guess I better act right. Please don't ask my viewers why they could. Yeah, he gon' show my lousy interview. You can eat it with a spoon. Cause in time, June. Gambling, addiction, alcohol abuse. Cash advances for money matches I lose. You can eat it with a spoon. Cause in time, June. Cause in time, June. Cause in time,
That being
That being said,
Hello. This is Phil Burnell. All right. And just wanted to tell you that I love the podcast. That being said, big ups. That being said, which vest is podcast best? That being said, relaxing, chill, interactive, fun. That being said, which vest is podcast best? That being said, relaxing, chill, interactive, fun. AL Team Insider, the legend, fantastic Mr. Sam, the dentist, Steve to the dead, psychological style host. Get well soon, man. Me or Cap, artistic style host. That being said, which vest is podcast best? That being said, which vest is podcast best?
If there was ever meaningful content, it's being produced right here on That Being Said.
Oh. We got, I mean, who cares anymore at this point? Fuck it.
I mean, ridiculous. What's up, everybody? Sunday, and we have a special edition episode for you today where we shall listen to Philip on a very special wrestling-style show. And because Sam is out and Meerkat is out, I figured we do need someone from that part of the world to even it out. So I couldn't go to, Eastern European style. I couldn't find another British style, but I did find a Scottish person. King Jad, hello.
Hi, how you doing? Hope everyone's doing well. And for people who are not accustomed to my very rough accent, I will try my best to be as coherent as possible and speak a bit slower than usual.
Just, no, fuck them. So I speak quicker, faster. We do have Stephen in the house. How you feeling, my friend?
I'm going to use the Queen's English throughout this episode.
Thank you. I will use what we have stolen from them and used for our own purposes for years. Yes.
From English. I'm on the alt.
All right, so we got a lot to get to today. We want to finish kind of on time. So let's get to it. Our topics today include many things, such as a new merch store, get well soon message to a certain other lolcow in the lolcowdom, and then we have a podcast to listen to. So I'm going to start with the lovely website known as darksidephil.shop. Okay, .shop. And here are the choices. Steve, what's your take on these?
It's just, there's no Hey Army 88. It doesn't feel like a proper DSP range without that. You know,
we do need, and no thongs. I saw no thongs.
Yeah, no thongs either. No steins. No cloaks.
No steins. Yeah. I mean, it's King Jad. You were around back then. Did you ever get the stein or the thong of DSP? Come on.
Man, I've seen them and heard of them, but I was never compelled to purchase said goods. No, I'll let other people. I mean, God knows if any of them actually sold. The Stein, obviously, Phil showed off a Stein in his own content, but I'm not entirely sure if he has a metrics or how many DSP thongs were ever sold during Kathy Press's lifetime.
So this is how this website works is very strange. So it's not like if you see like Streamlabs or Stream Elements sales pages, like you choose a shirt and then you choose the options. Here it's set up where every color is just, here's 20 colors, and then we'll get to our next item. So not 20, but 4. So we have this, the typical Hulkamania red. Then we have this mustard into the red, which this doesn't look too good on my eyes. But
you think it should be yellow? Why not just reverse the color scheme? Like normal, like that's what Hogan does as well, doesn't it? He reverses the color scheme. Why the hell is it mustard?
So you should hear the Philip has a little line here he makes to hype it up. He says, "It's running wild, brother. Let's pull some Hogans." And that's the sales pitch. Did he change it for any of these? No, of course not. Why did I even ask?
It's running wild. No, you're not going to get a new description. He doesn't even change the descriptions of his games most of the time. So
those are $26 for each of those. Then we get to the long sleeve tees. These are $48. Oh no, these are sweatshirts. Excuse me, $48. $48
goddamn dollars.
$48 in the house here. And then again, no extra explanation. Let's see how big they get. 2XL. So wings get fucked. No 5X. 2XL is the highest. Then we have sweatshirts, and I'm not sure if you already saw this. What's your guess on the sweatshirt price, Steve of the Dead?
I would imagine, given that the long sleeve shirts are at least $48, that's got to be around 60.
Hoodies. Well, these you get for the lowly price of only $55.
That's a $5 saving. I'm sold.
And you get free. Okay, Philip explained this very wrong last time on the show. He said if you buy 2 items, it's free shipping. I'm seeing on the top of this website here. I know you can't see it, but it says free global shipping on all orders over $40. So if you buy a single hoodie, you have free shipping, Philip. You explained that incorrectly yesterday. Moving on, let's get to the more interesting design. So this one, it does change colors if I mouse over it. All right, that's a thing. Oh, is it scrolling through? No, it's just a mouse over thing. All right, so let's see how this one looks. $26, and this says, celebrate the long-running career of Darkside Phil with this awesome swag. So how would you define swag is the question I have to bring up. because I thought swag was shit they give you for free at events.
Anything but that.
Yeah, not
That's how I
fucking
define
that.
swag. Not that.
How do you define
yeah.
swag? Not fucking that.
So celebrate the long-running career of our Dark Side Phil with this awesome swag is that one. Then we have this shirt. This says, this should help you fight off the laggy rollback netcode. That's the description here. Couldn't resist. The cannons live rent-free in Philip's head, as we all know. This one comes in gold. Oh, see, this one you can choose the colors. What? So wait, why can't you do that up here? Yeah, that's really a strange design choice here, Philip. But all right. Yeah.
That's
so
what you
here,
could do, though.
Yeah.
there's a
The
pull
website's
down.
fault.
There's a pull down here. As you can see, I can change it to whatever I want. But up there's not. All right, so very cool. Next we have then we get down to this. And also the WoW dude makes an appearance here.
Oh, God.
I've heard it's got updated. Like the image got updated from the original, so they made this version look older and more, snort sacky.
Let me see if I can find the old one real quick.
They've still given him too straight and perfect of a beard, though. There's no patches, no gaps. That's unrealistic, and it just takes me out of.
I gotta compare
my
that.
immersion.
All right, so that's $55 for the hoodie again.
Yeah, so Dick Stroken Phil had a tweet, and he compares the two in the mold. So if you look for Dick Stroken Phil on X, you can see a before and after.
Okay.
I mean, even just retweet it myself. Hold on.
Can we talk about the tote bag as well? Simply just gone for that because it's an option you can have.
Oh my
They're
god!
quite popular, Phil.
Wait till you see this.
I just retweeted it, so just check my account. Yeah.
Look at this. It's updated to be worse. Why would you accept this?
There are some patches. I'll go with that, but
the eyes, the snort sacks.
Yeah.
How do you? That must be something to do with how it's encoded from a PNG to a JPEG. How do you get all this shit? Why
would you? This is a detractor changed it into a more realistic version, and Philip's like, yeah, let's roll with that.
The left was an old webcam, the right was a new webcam.
Yeah. What? Yeah, who made this? This is literally what. Okay, if I gave this to Darkseid Phil, the artist, said, "All right, can you make it more give some more memes in there?" This is what it would do. He might add a few extra things. Yeah, look.
I've just seen that the hairline's crooked.
Well, that's consistent.
Oh, that is consistent. Yeah, at least they got that in the first one. Oh my god! All right, well there you go. You get the WoW dude. Let's look at the tote bags because these are hot items here. We have the $16.99 tote bags, and these again, you have 4 options here: Philomania, Street Fighter, DSP Gaming, and WoW Dude tote bags. So you got to get those. I mean,
no one's going to steal that from fucking Walmart.
Imagine walking down the street with on your way to work, and you've got your stuff in your tote bag. And people are looking as you walk by them and going, "Yeah,
what's that?"
Phil, yeah.
Who's Dark Side Phil? You got a minute? I'll explain about him. Here we got some mugs. This logo, I'm not a fan of it. You can't tell what it is at first glance. The L and the V, right? It looks like a. But anyways, that's $20.
Like AV, doesn't it? It was AV, doesn't it? More than anything else.
Yeah. I agree, and it's $16. Look at this. Listen to this description. All right. Look just as professional as Phil does when he's broadcasting the Level 1 podcast with this mug. There we go.
If you want to look as professional as Phil does, then just have a fucking image of an empty chair.
Yeah. I didn't see the description of the bag.
Like the L, like LVL for because
Level 1. I just don't get it.
It doesn't come out far enough to make it look like an L. So I'm just thinking because why would you abbreviate level to LV and not LVL? It's just such a bad design choice, and the fact that it goes backwards as well. It's so bad.
And as typical, lazy as possible, Philip reused the descriptions from the other designs in the bags. He couldn't say anything about the bag, Anyways, all right, that's the store. Good luck. I can't wait to hear about all the sales he's made from this. Because it's gonna be, you know what? I'm gonna think he's gonna sell a lot the first month because like it's kind of a meme thing to buy for like the tourists of the
shirt, for sure. That one right, the very first thing there, the one he wears as well.
Yeah,
even Wings was after a part, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, you know, because it's gonna be kind of a meme thing, you know, like for like some people. Obviously, these real fans are gonna buy it, but that's like what 5 people maximum, and then after that,
even then, that's just a font. So you could just make one yourself and
That's
not get
font
money
art.
to film.
But it's a font of a custom P. It's a custom P, remember, and that's what makes it different from any other Philomania logo you might have ever seen on the internet. The P is custom.
it's a P.
Makes
Come
it more
on.
unique and valuable for collectors.
Last night, Philip he was playing Champions. I would want to play this clip here, and he got the last second. He hit the goal from $100 from NDO, which seems to be the pattern on those. NDO comes in with $100 to support the stream. And he got a last-second $100 donation as well. So he's definitely going to honor that $100 tip, right? You'd think, right? He has to. The person gave $100 at the last second for his mega pool. Well, let's see. Let's see how that goes.
Guys, I'm not even kidding you. Someone
That
else
is
tipped
awful
me and I
music.
missed it.
Sorry, but
That's raw Phil. Played to them.
Look at this. I received a $100 tip from a naughty moose
Yep.
who says, Yanka Hogan, brother. Well, we tried and we failed. We
So,
tried and failed. We didn't get anything good. Thank you for the $100 tip that came in there, and I didn't see it because it wasn't actively in my inbox, but now I found it. So thank you for that.
And now we're going to do it, right? The mega pool?
Moose, that came in second. It actually was NDO who did the first $100 tip.
Okay, so...
And...
Hogan.
Where's the pool?
I believe there was another $2 tip. Just checking if my tip was missed. There you go. I'm sorry. When you tipped, all right, I'm going to say this to this person.
Uh-oh.
Check the active description of my streams and videos. You're using an outdated tips link. So because you're using an outdated tips link, I'm not seeing your tips right away.
Okay.
I have an alternate mailbox just in case someone uses the old tips link and you're using the old one. If you use the modern one, I'll see it right away. So I still check from time to time, but you have been tipping in the old link, and that's why I didn't see it. But thank you so much. So yes, this person actually tipped $102 tonight.
Yeah.
They also wanted me to do a mega poll.
Yep.
I just saw it. Okay.
So now we're gonna do it, right?
Just
all right.
quick
So
link
folks,
now. Might as well.
thank you so much
Oh,
for
no.
supporting
Bye-bye.
WWE Champions fun.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the money, dummy.
Zombies.
But
And
he's
this
actually going to do a mega pull. It's just not on this account on stream.
Oh, no.
That's where he's going. That's why.
Oh,
he's
yeah, definitely. That's
I'll
going
do
to
the
his
poll.
real account. He
let you
will
know
get a
how it
Hogan
goes.
pull out of it, but it's going to the real account.
I love these allusions to his like backup PayPal tip account thing, you know what I mean? Which is like shady as all hell, it feels. You know? Like that's,
This is my
against all
backup
country.
one.
Yeah, this is a secret one where if someone else locks the other one, you know what I mean? This is the one I use as a backup, whatever, which the government aren't meant to know about.
So this is a
How you don't fucking get that?
Uh-oh. There's some rage here. Let's
He
see.
says,
This is
guys, he's literally dying a horrific death, and Phil says, that's on him. I'll let him know. It's up to him to get back to me. King Philip. Dude, yes, if someone is ill, it's up to them to decide what's best with the time that they have and how they spend it. It's not on me to keep harassing the fucking guy and asking him to do a talk. It's up to him if he wants to do it or not. That's simple. And I even said I would do it in his content, however he wants to do it, whatever's best for him. It's not about me getting a rise out of it. It's about him having a conversation that he's wanted to have for a very long time, right? While they're
talking about Sir Mitoker here.
Sir
time.
Mitoker,
It's that
yeah.
simple. How you don't fucking get that? Like, how am I saying something wrong, you fucking ingrate mouth drooler? How am I saying something wrong here?
Nice.
Here's the answer. I'm not. You're a fucking donkey. You understand?
Wow,
now
donkey.
Get the fuck off my fucking stream, you stupid piece of shit. What a donkey moron.
Didn't Phil delete a tweet about Medicare because it was worded so poorly, and he still defended it even though he deleted it and then retweeted to try and make up for that?
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
The thing that happened.
Fuck any way that you can turn something into a negative.
Yep.
Right? Go fuck your mother, dude.
Okay,
Really.
fuck your mother. Big ups. Okay, well, next thing on the docket before we get to our watching of the wrestling podcast.
I'm amazed that he actually clicked a few things there because we watched the start last night of PNG, WPIG and the Ask the King, and it was just like click done. Click done, you've won. Click done, all these
God, it's the fucking worst.
It was so bad.
Guys, if you
I'll take this.
How to play this game is so wild. You just push 2 buttons and it's auto done for you. So it's not even Candy Crush. It's Candy Crush if you don't play the crush part. You just like do menus. If you haven't seen it, it's worth checking out just to be amazed at how you could spend so much money in something that you don't even have fun in any way. It's wild.
He was going on about like the autoplay as well. When he was like, "Oh, the autoplay is great; it'll do all these things for you." And he's like, "You're playing the game." Like,
it's wild.
It's baffling.
It's wild. You pay to avoid playing the game. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. You pay to avoid the playing part. Right? But all right, real quick, we got to get to the wrestling show. So real quick, I tweeted this from the camping trip real quick, just for reference. Good. I want to make sure you hear this.
Fuck up horse with the $10. Enjoy the tent tonight, Tipples.
Dog, I thought that was DSP's
Fuck
girl.
you.
I don't know why. When he said horse, I just thought about Cat Burnell.
Shut the fuck up.
When he said horse, I thought it was about Cat Burnell. That was from Wings. The gentleman known as Wings of Redemption said that. Well, it turns out that very same night, Wings went to the hospital, or the day after that, Wings went to the hospital, and Philip still decided to say, "Everyone send Wings of Redemption well wishes. Get well soon, pimp." LOL. But for real, he's got it rough right now, and I'm sure any positive thoughts would be appreciated. Sound good?
Didn't like the stream do very well for him? Like it was like one of the most successful like super chat streams, like on like was it over $10,000?
$10,000, yep. $10,000.
Phil called us trash content, but nobody would watch.
And also, Wings on the very same stream called his wife a horse, but very cool. Let's send them well wishes. Very cool. Someone said,
"Can't wait to see him on the Level 1 podcast with Phil for an interview. It's going to be great."
Yeah, I know. Like a classic keynote. I'm sorry, and it'll all be forgiven.
Yep, they're just slight razzing, guys. Someone said, "Why do you feel the need to tweet this when you could just DM him? So performative." And DSP said, "I did, but just maybe he'd enjoy a few more well wishes while in a bad situation. If you had a brain or a heart, maybe you'd get it."
Just a reply there.
So he's complaining about people telling him to DM things rather than make it public. Well, he's complaining about RTU making things public rather than keeping it to DMs.
Yes, that's why someone said that too, I'm sure, because he just cut out RTU for that. So whatever. Someone said, "Fuck off, Clout Goblin Burnell, you're disgusting." Kevin Styles. Down from the rafters, Kevin Styles says, "The only one who's disgusting here is you."
I wonder if Kevin still believes that we're making up about WWE Champions. Because
I know.
I'm not seeing him admit it yet or believe what Phil says.
Despite him like literally playing it on stream last night.
It's a fake. It's a forgery.
That's fake.
It's a different account. It's fine.
God, can you imagine? Like Kevin Styles, was the hardest core defender of Philip, for years, legitimately years, not like
Dr.
a few
Phil
years.
GIF enjoyer.
Yes, old school defender, and now he has to deal with Philip saying, "Yep, you know what? All that time you spent, Kevin. Well." You could have been doing anything else, but cool. Hoskew says, "Cool shirts, but can you explain it to me real quick?" All right, Hoskew. Well, I'll do like Philip and say, shipping is crazy. It's really cool. Let me explain it. You buy something and then it gets shipped. Oh, yeah, restaurant. So you come into the restaurant, you buy something, and then it gets sent to you, and then it goes to wherever you are, and then you get the item there. So it's really cool. We're going to talk about it all tomorrow on the podcast as well, so you really enjoy that. Tony T says, "A professional designer, this is awful." Oh, Tony T, you can design it then, please. Update on our own designs. We do have the Dent Dashers logo ready to go. I just have to add it to the store. So how about by next Sunday for sure, the Dent Dashers will be ready to rock. All right, we'll have the Dent Dasher logo shirts and stuff ready. Big ups to Dark City Phil for coming through for that. But Dent City fans are ready to rejoice here. We'll have their merch.
We need Dead Sea Scrolls merch.
I know. Yeah. I want to get I want to make some for the Dent Dashers. I definitely want to have some kind of sports thing somehow, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet. Like not a jersey, but like some kind of sports looking, so it looks like you really are a fan of the Dent City Dashers. That'd be funny. Anyways, Retro Doom Man says can't spell. Oh, here we go. Can't spell pedophile without Phil. PHIL. PDF recognizes PDF. Nice. Judder Cut says Pedophilomania Derek Edition. He's got
What you
himself
gonna do
into
when
this
Derek
mess.
comes for you?
Yeah. If you banned Derek many years ago, none of this will be happening. But unfortunately, you chose not to and continue to defend it. So this is going to keep happening. Go ahead, Steve.
Did you see the discussion that Dashfire tweeted from between Phil and Derek?
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Who was it? Who was it? I'll search for it.
It was Dashfire.
Oh, Dashfire. I'll show it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually about to say that, Steve. You read my mind. That's a very boring read for you.
It would also, by the way, we on Wednesday or Friday we showed that Philip's Twitch was recommending Derek's channel, and the very next day something really odd happened. Philip's Twitch channel got closed by the user. It's really
magically
strange.
mysterious on Phil's day off.
Just
gone.
must be kind of coincidence, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe Cat sat on it or something.
I agree with that.
To treat people whose candle application has been revolutionized by Phil. I no longer put candles above my nose line, and this is how he treats us for watching his old stuff. Shocking.
So let's get some. This is from Dashfire. Shout outs for this one. I will definitely see you tonight for a chill late night stream of new Pokemon Snap. Phil, I love a very relaxing Pokemon stream. Hey man, so now that the smoke cleared, I tried to make sure that you're unbanned. No idea if it worked or not. I couldn't chat with you for the entire Pokemon stream. I had to make new YouTube accounts. So he's making new accounts to chat with Philip. Let me just bring up the tweet. It's annoying. I know you can't read it. Yeah, there's 4 of them, so I'm just bringing it up. I'm just bringing it up. Okay. So we have that one, which I just read. The next one is, yeah, it does suck. The only thing I can think of is for you to become a member. That's why your name is highlighted green, and we can ban other imposters on site. Not sure of any other way to work around it now. Unfortunately, I can't become a member either. Sadly, yeah, it could just stick with the current YouTube account. Trolls totally ruined my night, and I was going to enjoy a chill late night stream of new Pokemon Snap tonight too. Next one, they're going to keep doing it. Maybe make a new account that's a completely different name. Do not say you are Derek, and just chat normally. At least you wouldn't be able to harass you at first. Yeah,
I was making the response to this is incredible.
Yeah, I was making new YouTube accounts with completely different name, but you wouldn't know that it's me anymore, and that would suck. Oh my god. I'll bring this one up because you got to see the bottom.
He likes it when he says his name. Remind you of anything?
I love when I hear my name when we do the chill streams at night, like new Pokemon Snap and MLB. Oh, man. I love when I hear my name when we do the chill streams at night, like new Pokemon Snap and MLB. Yeah, man, this is definitely not someone that's worth looking into when hundreds of people have told you that they have pedophile playlists on their YouTube channel. You definitely don't want to look into this person. Absolutely.
He likes it when Phil says his name and when Porn Stars say his name.
I
wonder if he could have got. I mean, Derek's like a weird little bastard, but it's interesting how those two correlations. I like it when you say my name, not just a porn star thing for Derek, also a thing with Phil.
That's why, I'm not getting into this topic, but I wonder if it's not even about the sexual side of the cooming. I really just think it's about hearing his name. I wonder if it's that, right? It's not like he's found a place where people will say your name, right? There's like a few arenas where you can get people to say your name. One is like content creators on YouTube that are live streaming. You can get them to say your name, and like other live content creators that are just happen to be doing porn stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, yeah, they're having sex, but I wonder how important that is to Derek's enjoyment of the content more than the name. You know what I mean?
It's more about the name. Yeah. Like any stream with Mark One will show you that it's not about the actual act. It's getting the recognition back, and I think that's because he just doesn't get it elsewhere. He doesn't get it in his life. He doesn't have those relationships and those social, that social network to be able to go out and hang with friends and things. So he needs it elsewhere. Yeah, but I think the more important thing that's getting overlooked by that is the fact that it's quite well on brand for Derek to have multiple accounts and to avoid detection and to get round being banned.
Yep, true.
By using them, and I think that the odds are high that has happened again recently. So,
you know that Derek's gotten a very recent talking to. Brother, I got to do this. but I want you to come back under a different name, and don't say it's you. DSP Flaggett says, business degree Phil really missed the mark. Opted for extra small and small, but nothing for the plus size fans. 5X for Wings and Boogie or 6X max. Oh no, DSP Flaggett. Cat doesn't need 6X. No.
Read the whole message.
I know, but if you had an option to make it bigger, if you know that Wings is going to wear it, you might want to go through that extra whatever cost. Utterly Insane
Maybe
says
Wings is going to get his own special. Like I had this
Wings
printed
Mania?
especially for you.
Wings will tear a shirt without even trying to fucking tear it because it'll just burst it off of him when he tries to put it on.
Utterly Insane says Phil's loves WB Champions because he can pay to win. That is why he loves WB Champions. I'm sure it's a huge part of it. No gamble, 100% win rate.
That 99% win rate matters.
Yeah. Why play a game that requires skill and thought that you might win and you might lose when you can just pay to always win? Sounds good? All right. Notifox says, someone tagged the Philomania guy. We're going to court, boys. Well, the Philomania guy actually added to his sales page the original Philomania. So that's kind of funny.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Alex Lynette says, big ups. That being said, been watching here since day one, and my husband and I listened to the podcast while we were both at our mundane grocery jobs. Big ups, Alex Lynette. Where do you place the cherry juice? Because it's a very important question. Don't put it in the end caps. If you do, Alex Lynette, you're gonna have real problems.
The first thing you see when you get there, just to avoid confusion for any gout-ridden individuals.
Yes, please.
Do you have a customer service desk where I can report like stolen bags?
Retro Dude Man X says, some idea for the shirt, Pedo Philsomania. No, we can't do that. That's a little weird. If you have a pedo shirt on your shirt, you know. Husky says, Derek has got a very mommy and daddy didn't love me or give me attention aura. Probably didn't get many Wolverine figures. And yeah, you know.
Weren't they like very successful? Like apparently, like that wasn't the mother a lawyer or something like that. I can't mind exactly the lore, but weren't they quite successful people? And like off as well.
That's what people found back in the day. Yeah, they were really well off, but that doesn't mean good parent. That's very key.
No, I'm not trying to say good parents. Whatever, I'm just kind of saying maybe a lot of success meant they were so busy with their working careers, or whatever, that they didn't actually give enough time and attention to little Derek.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like no.
Well, that's like the theory that Phil's been his babysitter essentially, hasn't he? For like 10 years. So yeah, they basically gave up on him. And
yeah, one of my friends from high school was also a Asian style individual. And their parents were very successful, but they were successful and they were never home, ever home. And they were like, all right, birthday, what do you want? Here's the gift. See ya. Then there's no time spent. It's just they're not home at all. And that's how, you know what I mean? So it's just something that can happen, right? If they have very successful parents, it's like they don't have a lot of time to be home, do they? You know what I mean? So it's something to think about. All right. Anyway, not saying that's the case here, just speculation, blah, blah, blah. Anyways. Let's get into it. Desert Island Graps. Okay, so first thing, I looked into this a little bit, and Steve, you know these guys way more than me, but this isn't their main podcast now, is it? It is kind of an offshoot of something meaningful, right?
Yeah, it's like a semi-regular thing they do. It's not a full-time regular podcast where they talk about just regular wrestling and shit. They have other thing for that. They have their own podcast where they do. This is like a special sort of like show or series or segment, I guess.
Yeah, okay. So this is like they didn't want to give Phil top billing, but they found some place in the undercard for him, right?
Is this like inviting someone to WPIG?
Okay.
Yeah, it's like when you have like Ski Sonic on.
Yeah, okay.
Scrolls, it's
secondary thing. Okay,
like
gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So apparently this has been edited a little bit, so it's not like the whole thing. They made it more, digestible, which I'm thankful for.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
So that's full editor though.
And this is it's now live on all your podcatchers. I don't think the video's out yet, but the audio is now live for everybody to listen to. So there we go. All right, let's get into it. Desert Island Graps. Here we go.
3 wrestling matches they would watch.
Oh wait, let's get to the beginning.
This
I hate that coming
is
up.
where we invite guests to talk about 3 wrestling matches they would watch whilst metaphorically stranded on a desert island. It's Desert Island Graps, and our castaway today spent 16 years in the YouTube streaming realm, and it's not unfair to say that he has longevity. He is.
Do we get a planned joke, Steve?
Oh, I don't know. I'd probably not at first. I think Tom's like quite nice. He probably didn't want to push it too far straight away. So
let's hear. Do we get a planned joke? Here we go. I know King Dad, you guys listened to this, but me and Steve have not, so it's fresh for us.
Exactly.
King Dad
So I'm
has
not
seen
going to
it.
spoil. I'm not going to spoil.
Here we go. Do we get a planned joke? Go.
Stuck around. He's also quite infamous, and I'm intrigued to hear all about him. Let's throw to him. Dark Side Phil, how you doing?
Here he is. Dark Side Phil, right? Oh, how you doing?
And Jasper is
probably not planned.
That wasn't planned, but
great. I could do it.
it landed just the same.
Yeah.
with us as well.
That's right. He's in the office today.
And while Jasper appears, I just shooed Pablo out of here. We could have had a meeting of the minds. My black cat Pablo was here just a second ago, but we've just missed him. But nice to see Jasper here as well.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest,
Good
Phil. This is the 210th episode of Desert Island Grabs.
Nice.
And when it was announced that you'd be joining us, we got heat. And I don't think we've ever had as much reaction from a guest being announced. Why do we think that might be, Phil?
Well, it's like you said,
Yeah.
I'm infamous. I've been in this game for 16 years, and I've had my highs and lows. There's people who like me. There's people who absolutely hate me. And there's an entire detractor community of people that follow me around and make videos about me every day. So whenever I get involved in anything, they got to jump on that. They've got to get their big circle, after who.
Circle what? You stopped a little too soon there. Circle what? Huh? You forgot the funnest.
This is PG-13 Phil.
You forgot the funnest part of the circle. Come on, that's the fun of the circle. We don't sit in the circle for no reason.
They got to jump on that. They've got to get their big circle. After whoever the heck wants to get involved with me. Recently, in the last couple of months, I've actually had a bit of a resurgence
no.
on YouTube because I started branching out and doing collabs
That
with
Renaissance
people.
arc.
And now
Yep.
there's
Oh, we
different
could have done
communities
bingo on
buzzing.
this.
Yeah, we could have. Yeah.
Like
All
a
right,
whole
there's
bingo on this.
there is a
Detractors.
new renaissance
Renaissance.
here. We got it.
About me. It's not just the detractors anymore. There's some good, there's some bad, and that's always good to have that mix. But yeah, people see me as a polarizing figure, but it's funny because what's actually come to light in the last couple of months
Here we go.
is a lot of the things that people hear about me are basically kind of a skewed perspective. This is
right. Right. It's a skewed perspective. Okay. Right. Except the things you admitted were true the whole time.
In this already.
have a benefit by
Pre-stream,
spinning something a
boys.
certain way. If they make me look bad, if they make a mountain out of a molehill,
Okay,
right,
yeah.
they benefit because they can
Look
make
at Tom.
videos about
I'm out.
it. They can make money on it. They've been monetizing this kind of content for a decade. So the truth
wait,
of the
Tom.
matter is, I don't necessarily think that half the stuff that's said about me or causes the infamy is really true. But I've learned to roll with it, like I have
Right.
to. How else am I going to exist in this internet space? You can't stop people from talking junk about you.
Okay, I forgot the question actually. Anyways, we talk about wrestling here.
But anyway, yeah, I have this. Some people call it the black
What
cloud.
you did
some
live
people
for
just
7
call it
years to your fans.
Yeah.
A group of cultish, crazy people who follow me around for various different reasons. And I had a feeling that, me appearing on your show was going to cause some.
Those are what's known as to kind of like you kind of inch the person into saying like wrap it up like and you say it increasing frequency to kind of tell them to kind of wrap it up because you can't say wrap it up but you can
and it certainly has. And I am really keen to hear your side of things, and I'm keen to hear what makes you tick. And because obviously we're on a wrestling channel, and this is Cultoholic Island. We want to know what 3 wrestling matches that you'd watch whilst you're metaphorically stranded here, Phil. So we're going to go through them throughout our time today. What would you like your first one to be?
The first match, it's funny. Last night I watched all 3 of these to refresh myself on them.
Whoa, very
Any guesses,
busy.
probably, guys? Any guesses?
Very busy boy, huh? Okay,
Very first one.
I would say, okay, we talked about it last time, but I think we all agreed on level 1 bullshit. So I would say Undertaker throws Mankind.
Do you want some hints before to help me?
Okay, if you're giving us hints,
his earliest one. This is the earliest one.
This is going to be
go
new gen. This is going to be like new gen, early, maybe, like maybe Mania 6, Hogan Warrior.
That's what I thought. I think like Hogan slamming Warrior. No, I think Hogan slamming Andre the Giant is in there because that's like level 1
He'd
bullshit.
only be about like 5 years old then.
But still, remember he thinks he's alive for all that shit. You know, he says all the movies
These are
from the
good
80s.
guesses. These are strong guesses.
Okay. I'm saying Hogan slamming Andre the Giant at that one WrestleMania, the biggest one. I'm saying Undertaker throwing Mankind off the top of the cage thing, and then Austin fluctuating miasma right there. That's you said Hogan Warrior.
I don't think it's going to be Mania 17.
Okay,
because that's Attitude Era, and he wasn't watching then.
By the way, they do the first one here, and then the second one comes into the interview. So they don't do all three straight away. They kind of come back to the second and third choice later on. So this is the very first choice. So this very first choice here is what he picks, and it's basically what got him into it. But you guys are pretty close on the mark.
Okay,
In fact, I think Steve might have been spot on.
Okay, and also remember his favorite wrestler was CM Punk, I believe, for a while. So yeah, that could be there too. But all right, let's go.
I really wanted to pick matches that like I remember really well as being memorable for me. You know, I grew up in the 1980s watching pro wrestling first with my godfather and then with my own father. And that
the Godfather
was the era
of
Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper and Macho Man and Andre the Giant.
Hell yeah.
And the one match that I want to start with that really stands out to me was the unification title match between Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6.
Steve got it.
Where Hogan currently was.
How old was he during this? He was born in 1982. He's maximum 8 years old.
He'd be 8 or 9.
8 years old? I don't remember what I was watching at 8 years old.
To be fair, that was
you remember
like
matches?
That was my first introduction to wrestling as well. That's like my earliest memory from like my nana got me into it, and it was Hogan Warrior.
Okay. I remember like movies I saw back then because I watched them probably 1,000 times. You know what I mean? That's a little different. I can't remember a single wrestling thing back then. But all right, there we go. Hogan versus what's it? Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior.
You know, the WWF World Champion and Ultimate Warrior was the Intercontinental Champion. And to see these two guys collide in the ring for the title where you knew someone was going to walk away with all the gold was like this momentous thing. And the way that the match went was so unexpected for people who were like Hulk Hogan fans because no one thought that it was going to go that way. And I remember as a kid watching this match, and I had friends who were wrestling fans as well in school. And one of my friends was like the most hardcore Ultimate Warrior fan, right? He had like an Ultimate Warrior jacket and Ultimate Warrior backpack that he came to school with. And I like Hulk Hogan. So I was like, dude, Ultimate Warrior sucks, you know? And we had this rivalry back and forth talking about this match. And I thought
his name was T. Carter.
Of course, Hulk Hogan's going to go over. He never does the job, right? He's going to win this match. He's going to continue on, cement himself as the greatest pro wrestler of all time. But that match completely shocked me when it happened. I still remember to this day, I was on my feet jumping around my living room like this, watching it on TV, so excited because it went such a wacky way.
This is bad.
And I actually remember at the end of the match when it ends, and it's this shocking ending where Hogan does the big boo. He goes for the leg drop. He misses. Warrior body splashes him. 1, 2, 3. It's like, wait, what? And I thought as a kid, I'm like, no, something's going to happen, right? Someone's going to run in and say, no, that doesn't count. There's going to be, but no, they just ended it. That was it. Hogan hands the title over. That's the end of the pay-per-view. You're like, whoa, what just happened? You know? And it just stands out in my mind. I remember up to that point, Hogan almost seemed like unbeatable, and he was definitely going to continue on this reign. And it just wasn't the case. This was the era where it was starting to transition out from him always being at the top.
Any back and forth or no?
Because I remember like a year later, he ran in at WrestleMania and beat Yokozuna for no reason. It made no sense. But
yeah, that was a thing that happened. Go back to when you were watching it. So you watched some of the shows with your godfather or with your mum as well.
Right.
Where would you have been watching WrestleMania 6 for the first time?
What? Who's the Godfather? The Godfather? I don't remember this member of the
Lord. He had affluent godparents.
Is that the uncle? Oh, okay. Affluent guy. Okay, nice.
Who would you have been with? Where would you have been with your mum as well?
He explains it here.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Where would you have been watching WrestleMania 6 for the first time? Who would you have been with?
For those who don't know what a Godfather is.
Yeah.
Question, because I remember my godparents were kind of affluent, so they would have all the pay-per-views. We go over their house, and they'd always have the pay-per-view on TV or whatever. Like we wouldn't get it at my house. I don't remember if I saw it at their house or my place. But I just remember my godfather was the guy who got me into pro wrestling.
We will go. Wait, hold on.
Pay per view on TV or whatever. Like we wouldn't get it at my house.
We would not get it at my house. Okay.
I don't remember if I saw it at their house or my place.
What?
Remember, this is the 80s. Remember, Steve, this is like the late 80s. So
What?
VHS. Then he taped it.
I wouldn't watch it at my house. I wouldn't watch it at my house. We watch it over at their house. I can't remember if I watched it at their house or my house. Those are two sentences back to back. Listen.
Whatever, like we fluent. So they would have all the pay-per-views. We'd go over their house and they'd always have the
We'd go over to their house.
pay-per-view on TV or whatever. Like we wouldn't get it at my house. I don't remember if I saw it at their house or my place.
Okay.
Well, I just remember my godfather's the guy who got me into pro wrestling because I had never seen it before.
Oh,
And
God.
we were over-
That gentleman right there ruined his life unknowingly in every way possible.
It's like that tiny little domino at the start, and then
worst Godfather ever.
There's a holiday, and he was like a hardcore love WWF. So he's watching it, and everyone's coming in the living room like, what the heck is this? Like, I've never seen this before. And I got like addicted to it because these are like larger than life people, right? They're over the top personas. They're almost cartoonish in a way, but it's
This is such a fucking Wikipedia explanation of why people like wrestling, isn't it? Oh, they're the larger than life people. Like, you don't actually think that in your mind when you're 8 years old. Like, look at these larger than life characters. You think, okay, this guy's
is like
cool.
a comic book.
Yeah, you like, this guy's a badass. That's it. You know? Like, all right, cool. Larger than life characters.
It's entertaining. It's fun. And of course, during the 1980s, everyone kind of thought it was real, at least if, a certain age range. I thought it was
explaining
a real,
kayfabe to the host of a wrestling podcast.
I don't know if you know this. It's not real.
Wrestling channel.
Excuse me, Tom. You know wrestling's not real. I'm not sure if you know that yet. I can explain it to you if you want.
Hardcore sport, and this was real stuff going on. I know it was scripted. And I remember him being so into it kind of got me more invested and hooked on watching it. And then when I went back home, I said to my dad, well, can we start watching this together? And we did. We started watching like the free shows that were on TV. I can't remember. I think one of them was like on Saturday mornings or something like that at that point. And then I started getting hooked on Hogan and Roddy Piper. My favorite was Hulk Hogan. My dad's favorite was always Roddy Piper. And so it probably was at that point my godfather's house, or actually, now that you mentioned it,
oh my God,
he would record the pay-per-views on VHS.
He
could watch them at home later, and that's probably how I first saw it. Now that I'm thinking about it,
do you remember what
made it
the first match
such a long answer
would have shown you?
God damn it, dude! Relax. Just answer the question. You don't have to tell a whole storyline. Well,
look,
let me tell you
three times the same question. Like,
well, first, let me tell you about my family situation.
Man, it was likely a pay-per-view during the summertime because we used to go over there all the time for like birthday parties and out backyard.
What? Hey, what? Another thing you're just making up right now.
It's not been as long as Mania, but it wasn't long after. So maybe either way.
Like baseball. So likely it was probably like an early SummerSlam or something like that. I don't even remember when SummerSlam started, but it had to be one of like those early pay-per-views. But I couldn't put my finger on it exactly. It definitely was like the mid to late 80s, I would say, when I got into wrestling. It wasn't like the early days of WrestleMania or anything like that. But yeah, no, I would tell you that I know Hulk Hogan must have been on it because he was the guy, that I like really like watching.
You mentioned that you watched that match again recently, and I always find it interesting when you have those matches that you loved as a kid, but you watch them back as an adult and you see them through slightly different eyes. How did your viewing of it like yesterday vary, do you think?
I was so drunk and I was playing WWE Champions, so I didn't really see much of it actually. But yeah, definitely.
You got a good pool, so I forgot what I was watching.
I pulled the zombie whatever the fuck, Scott Steiner, so I wasn't really watching actually.
Slightly different eyes. How did your viewing of it like yesterday vary, do you think, on young Phil watching it for the first time?
One thing, this is
that's a good live meme right there if we do that, the nodding into a
find it interesting when you have those matches that you loved as a kid, but you watch them back as an adult and you see them through slightly different eyes. How did you
I'm nodding in solidarity. I'm nodding in solidarity. You can't see it, but I'm doing it as well.
One thing, this is an honest observation. I'm watching the match back, and I don't know the version that I was watching, if it was like the live version or the one that they kind of dub later, because I think early WWE, they would have the announcers like dub it later. And it was Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan doing the commentary. And let me tell you, like I'm watching the match, I'm invested in the match. They're talking about everything but the match. They're talking about Ric Flair has pictures of Miss Elizabeth and he's revealing these and Mr. Perfect's involved and this and that. I'm like, it's like pulling away. Like the commentary back then actually was entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I love Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh yeah, good shout there, King Jack, because Philip did say that he forgot to turn off the AI tracking, but to combat that, he didn't stop the interview or anything, which would have been fine. They can edit it out. He just tried not to use his hands when he talked.
As humanly possible. Mr. Sway's back and forth on the X and Y axis could not move after he realised the camera was moving.
Nice.
What is it to go? Oh, fuck's sake. I forgot to turn off the AI tracking. 1 sec, Tom.
Takes 2 seconds.
Right, there we go.
Great people in the industry and great commentators and managers, but man, it's like taking me out of the match. I like just concentrate on the match. I don't want to hear about all these other plot lines that are going on. But definitely like watching it back now, you see, now you can call it, right? When you're a kid, you think it's real. But now you can call it. He's like, oh, I see what they did there. They're going to have the spot where immediately Hogan's going to slam Warrior, but Warrior's going to get right back up.
Oh, my God.
And in this case, you can see how they appreciate it more than just seeing like these two superheroes, in the ring when I was a kid.
Did you ever get a chance to go and watch it live? Did the wrestling ever roll into town when you were younger?
Yes.
When I was a kid, no. Later on,
I paid my friend to chauffeur me to WrestleMania, and I didn't pay him for when he did work for me, but I did take him to WrestleMania, so please.
It was in my teens and early 20s. I actually attended a few shows in town. I used to live in Connecticut, and there was an arena down in Bridgeport, and that I saw SmackDown live once, and I saw Raw live once.
Yeah.
And I also attended WrestleMania. Man, whichever WrestleMania was 2012, that was the one that was like the New York, New Jersey crossover. It was the first Rock versus Cena. I actually was there in person for that WrestleMania too.
Whoa!
I'm intrigued to know which SmackDown you were at, because it would have been one that rolled through Connecticut.
I remember exactly which one it was.
Oh, go on,
it was.
And remember, guys, there's a guy yesterday that said he's not interested in the Mr. McMahon documentary. He's not interested. How can you not be interested? You're so invested in this shit. Look at his face lighten up talking about this shit. I don't even care about wrestling. For 15 years, I haven't watched a single second of wrestling. But I still want to see the documentary because it looks interesting about something I know something about. And Philip said he doesn't want to watch it.
Maybe things are hurting too much because he's still so much invested in it.
Maybe.
But like my dad brought it up to me, like people who aren't wrestling fans are watching this because like, they know who Vince McMahon is and why he's been in the news recently. It's a big thing. So yeah, it's mind-boggling that he's not.
It's drama content, so he has to stay away. Yeah, maybe that's.
I remember exactly which one it was.
Oh, go on,
it was the
look how happy he is.
Match. It was the silliest one. Brock Lesnar wrestling. Oh God! The manager. Oh God!
I totally remember it. Here it is. It was.
But I just remember being hypnotized by Brock Lesnar's physique, and I can't really remember who he was.
John was standing right next to me. I'm totally bricked up. Let me tell you, the lights just danced off John's nose just right. I couldn't even stand. I couldn't.
John, I'm trying to watch a show.
Oh God!
I couldn't even blink. I was so bricked up.
Manager. Well, God. From ECW.
Paul
Heyman. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't even a match. It was a joke, right? And so here's the thing. Back then, SmackDown was recorded, not live broadcast. And they had a giant botch during the match. What was supposed to happen was that they get locked in this cage, and Brock Lesnar was going to destroy Paul Heyman, and then all of a sudden, like Kurt Angle was going to hit the ring and he was going to save him, but they screwed it up. He couldn't get the ring open. He's standing there. He's like going crazy trying to get the chain off the door, and it won't come off. He has a key. He's like trying to open it. It doesn't fit the lock. They gave him the wrong key. So he's like, what the hell? So they had to first they tried to give him like bolt cutters, and he couldn't cut it. So he just screw this. He just climbed the whole cage and went over, which wasn't what the spot was supposed to be. And then on TV, they edited it completely different. So it looks completely like a different thing happened. Looks like he hit the ring right away to save Paul Heyman. But it was funny because Heyman's like,
is there any truth to that, I wonder? But, his explanations are always not the truth, but all right.
SmackDown must be recorded. There were some botches sometimes, You've probably seen the kind of thing where Mark Henry couldn't tear off the body door off the cell, whatever. Or they went for a table weirdly, so had to redo a table spot, things like that. It's just all sorts of ridiculous things.
10 minutes running around the ring, which obviously isn't realistic. Brock's going to kick his ass in like 10 seconds.
Who would you?
Hold on a second.
like just trying to avoid Brock Lesnar for a good like 10 minutes, running around the ring, which obviously isn't realistic. Brock's going to kick his ass in like 10 seconds.
It's not realistic. He's going to kick his ass in 10 seconds?
It's ruined my immersion.
Spoiler alert, Phil. It's scripted.
You know this is fake, right? Like, I'm not sure we're getting it yet. You know, like, holy shit, Brock Lesnar's faster than Paul
This is
Heyman.
bad. I keep getting away from the good guy. He gets so infuriating. This is not realistic.
Is this before or after John Rambo's had to explain to him?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I think this is after though. It should be.
Who would you have gone to those shows with? Those SmackDown shows, those live shows when they rolled in?
Ooh.
Back then, in my teen years and my early 20s, I have a bunch of friends who were into like video games and Street Fighter. I was actually a Street Fighter player, pretty heavy, and we also
we're gonna mention Street Fighter.
We gotta say it. We gotta say his name, Philip.
Video games and Street Fighter. I was actually a Street Fighter player, pretty heavy, and we also were all into pro wrestling. So I remember I went there with a few of my friends. Pretty much every time that I went to a show, it was always like that group of friends who were into pro wrestling, and we would hang out together, make a big deal of it.
It's one of those where we always remember sort of how the journey began for us as wrestling fans, but we never quite remember where it all fell off. And you've said as well on your...
I wouldn't know anything about that, Tom.
You were a big fan of it growing up, and you've almost said like there was a bit of confusion as to why you were being brought on because, well, I haven't watched for ages. Because you said that you missed out the whole attitude.
He missed out on the biggest boom period of wrestling.
I should tell you guys, why I kind of thought this was a good idea, because talking about wrestling is not that interesting, right, for the whole time, and we weren't quite sure if we were going to do it. But let me show you the description that Cultoholic put on this, if you can kind of see what I'm thinking here. Look at the comments. This is why I said, all right, we're going to do it, because this is how Cultoholic decided to describe this episode. I spent thousands on dollars on WWE Champions. Don't go down the road I've gone down. YouTube streamer Darkside Phil talks about 16 years and counting in live streaming world. Street Fighter coming clean with lies to his audience about WWE Champions. Phil also talks about 3 wrestling matches he'd watch while stranded on a desert island. If you're affected by the discussion of gambling addiction within the podcast, you can find support at gambleaware.org.
Oh my God.
So I just wanted...
Is that the only time you've ever had a disclaimer for one of the podcasts?
I think so, yeah.
210 different podcasts for this, and this is the only time I've had a disclaimer about something.
And by the way, also on DSP Gaming now, when he plays WWE Champions now, he added a disclaimer himself, and we were wondering last night why that is, but now I wonder no more, because it is because of that very same reaction to this, right? Oh, it's not up yet, but it's a reaction to that interview, because he said, like, all right, guys, be safe, be careful. Let me see if I can find it here. It said this line was never there before, and now it is. Oh, it's not here yet. It was in the live stream, but it's not there. But yeah, it's because they must get into that topic here very heavily. So here we go.
Oh yeah. I was a big.
It was not a self ad by YouTube. He talked about it actually last night.
During the 80s and the New Generation era. And then during my high school years, I actually stopped watching. I'm the opposite of everyone. Everyone jumped on during the Attitude Era, right? I'm the opposite, where all my friends in high school were always talking about wrestling, and I was so into competitive Street Fighter that I kind of didn't really care. I wanted Street Fighter to be my hobby at that time. And then after a while, I kind of got back around that invasion angle when WWF bought out everything, WCW, ECW. That's when I started watching again. And I watched all through the 2000s and the 2010s. And I actually stopped like cold during the COVID era of 2020 when they did the closed arena shows with no fans.
They were difficult to watch.
And the championship kept being
and the
more
champions
and more,
meme was could not run from the champions meme anymore. Yep.
It was
no crowd. I mean, if anything, it shows how much the crowd powers that product, right? Like to have that crowd
definitely
so excited, just like when you have a crowd that's not into it and they're like not really cheering or anything, you're like, oh, the show sucks, but is it really the wrestlers' fault? You need a crowd to empower that, and definitely that COVID era suffered because of it.
And Philip thinks the same thing about his streams, by the way. The crowd is the one that needs to entertain. If you guys are talking, guys, talk to me. I'm here. Talk to me.
Lends itself to Hogan Warrior again, because that match is one thing in the ring,
for that match.
The crowd in the Sky Dome that night just buzzing for it. And watching that match on mute, or as you did with, I think, because what they tended to do was you'd have like commentary for the show that was live, but then when they put it on videotape, they did it on Greatest Hits. Then, or if they would for some cases redub it. I know that happened when Jesse Ventura got let go. So with the commentary distracting with the sound when Jesse Ventura got let go. So even like with the commentary distracting with the sound off, it is a different match.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We need to get some like non-copyright metal music. When he starts headbanging, I can just push it.
We've got some royalty-free tracks. I'll send them.
Yeah.
Carry on, sir.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I love it when a crowd really gets into a match and makes it feel like it's real. Like for me, if that crowd wasn't so into it, I don't know if I would have thought so much about that match when I was a kid. But I think really those.
Okay.
Wrestling obviously took a backseat for Street Fighter. That became a big part of your world as well. What was it that captured you about Street Fighter to begin with, Phil?
Oh man, so I was into video games in the 80s.
I had no friends, so I was kind of looking for any community that would have me. And as it turns out, Street Fighter will accept anyone. It's pretty cool.
Again, from my uncle. It's like all my family members got me into all my hobbies, right? And so my uncle actually gave me my first console ever, which was the Atari 7800.
There we go.
A whole bunch of games. And I got into playing games at home. But then my school friends had told me about, did you know that there's video arcades where you can go and play these big cabinets, and they're way different from what you play at home. The graphics are way better.
That's what people talk about at school. Hey, did you know there's arcades, guys? Something you can play games outside of the house. It's cool. That's really how it happens.
Yeah, Jad, by the way, that's not a hybrid cat, I believe. I think
this is solo single use.
So I started going to video arcades every once in a while, occasionally, and then I was actually there the day Street Fighter 2 debuted in the United States. Like the day it was released, I was there, and my God, there was a crowd around.
The very first one?
This was like mono on mono, a spectator sport.
What was that?
Crowd around.
No,
this was like
mono.
Mono on mono.
Mono on mono?
I need to know.
Mono on mono. Hell yeah.
Stevie, are you translating mano on mano? Are you googling this?
Mono on mono.
Steve's like, I need to know. I'm kind of curious what he's trying to look up.
Spectator sport, kind of like wrestling, right? Where it's two guys.
I think Tom's starting to Google.
I don't need to add that to the list. Thank God.
Tom started Googling it to make sure he didn't hear it incorrectly. Watch.
Hold
on, let me check this out real quick. Hang on, let me check this out. Did he say that? What I think he just said?
There's a crowd around. He did. Watching. It was competitive. While other arcade games weren't like that. It was just like, I'll beat up the computer or whatever. This was you against another human in a competitive way. And man, did it catch on. And it just hooked me. Like from then on, I was there every weekend whenever I could go. I was there whenever I could go in between. Instead of it just being about plunking some quarters in and beating up, a boss, instead it was about being the best, right? Being the best in the arcade. It was a competitive thing that I got hooked on.
Did you, at that point, were you aware of how big these sort of tournaments would go and how far that would take you? Because that's another big part of your story is your journey through the Street Fighter tournament world.
All right.
Yeah, I actually shit on most of the other tournament organizers. I really shitted on them because I thought I could do it better. So I really hated everyone in that time. Let's see if he says that. That's the real answer.
In that community, yeah.
Everyone kind of hated me actually because I bitched about everything possible. So not really.
No, back then, no one thought about competition. No one thought that anything would become of it. Keep in mind, at this point, the internet was in its infancy. No one really had any way to talk about this kind of stuff or brag. It was just about, you're the king of the local scene, right? So you wanted to be king of the castle. You wanted to be the one that dominated the cabinet and be on there for hours on end one night while everyone else just has to keep lining up and plunking their quarters in. I remember it was actually a few of my friends from the arcade who had convinced me eventually to start traveling outside of my comfort zone locally and go to like an in-person tournament event around the end of the 90s. And that was a big step for me because I never thought that I would care about traveling to play Street Fighter or anything like that. I just thought it was kind of a fun hobby that I had. But I'm glad I did. When I started traveling, I got exposed to people from all over the United States and further because
I found a lot about
You
credit
exposed
card.
yourself to Jamie.
I learned a lot about credit card reward programs.
some of the tournaments I went to had people from Europe or Canada or Japan who
Whoa.
were coming over, and I was exposed to different cultures and different things, and it was a pretty awesome, I would say, an awesome time of my life. Although also,
You met all the people, sure.
Yeah.
But it's not like you flew out to like Canada or England or Japan or anything like that.
He didn't even do that. He talked to him during the games, and that was the end of it. Remember? There was nothing going on. He didn't even hang out at nighttime, like chilling and stuff. Like, there's nothing to do at these tournaments. You just wait around all day. Everyone else is having fun. He's not, though, but all right.
pretty expensive and grueling because it was all kind of grassroots. There was no money to be made. So it was like you're spending thousands of dollars out of pocket to travel around and play at these tournaments with no real prospect.
Out of pocket is a little bit disingenuous, isn't it? Out of Visa's pocket, and you have to pay them back later. So just want to get that clear there.
Making any money even if you win.
Because a lot of that was, and this is something that's been covered quite a lot, because so much of your life has been reported, Phil. This is something that was reported was that you took on these tournaments, these Street Fighter tournaments, and you did so using credit cards and money that hadn't been earned yet. And
You were right.
Got a little more interesting here, didn't it? I didn't know he's going to bring up this lore. All right,
Yeah,
let's
don't want to
go.
spoil that for you.
Let's go, Tommy boy.
I must have put a lot of pressure on to be able to keep up with that, knowing full well that you were going further and further into the red.
Oh, and the back as well.
Yeah, well, how far back do you want to go?
No, are we going to mention it as well? Like I was doing all that, and then I had my back injury, so I'll move to YouTube.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. And so he kind of asked this in a very troll way. Like, you're going into the red for this, right? I mean, you understand that, right? How money works? Well, actually.
I must have put a lot of pressure on to be able to keep up with that, knowing full well that you were going further and further into the red.
I didn't care about that, actually.
And the funny part is, like, I honestly don't know how so many people were able to travel and do it at that time, because see today
Envy.
Because they saved their money from their jobs.
They had other jobs.
Many people at that Fast Arcade forums talk about how, I can't go this week. I don't have money for that. A lot of people happened, and some people said, I'm saving up my money for next year's whatever the fuck tournament. All the time. It's a normal thing to do.
Try to get down, but I've got work, so I might not be able to make it.
Yeah. Everyone else says that, right?
And then Phil's like, oh, come on, you fuckers. It's dead easy to travel. I could do it. You've got no excuse.
Come on, dumb
Oh, you need
fucks.
7 credit cards.
Today you got esports, right? So you have these teams, these leagues, and they're getting paid to do it. They're getting sponsorship opportunities and stuff. During the time when I was competitive, which was the 2000s, there was none of that. It was actually all just grassroots.
Answer the
You
question.
would go to a tournament, right? And you would spend a few $100 on a
Filibustering.
plane ticket, a few $100 on a hotel room, and then food.
The hotel room.
$10
like
on-
everybody buys the luxury suite.
$10 on ball cream, 2 different types. I got beef jerky, $5. I gotta buy.
Gordon's.
I gotta buy
3 of them.
$50 for the Rock Band accessories for when friends come up to my suite, but they don't ever come. That's expensive.
Spend $1,000, $2,000 to go to a tournament. If you win the tournament, you won $400. So there was no money to be made. It was just
Answer
for
the
love of it,
question,
really,
sir.
Bragging rights online.
So
was
can we
rough,
ans-
and I always wondered.
Can we answer
other
the question?
people who were like the top players at the time.
Oh.
How did they do it? Were they maintaining a giant work-life balance? Plus,
Yes.
they were doing. I didn't. Get it. For me,
And also money matches. They didn't make a fuck ton of money matches they couldn't pay off, like someone else we know. They actually saved
I
money.
always maintained a job, and that money would go to pay for those trips, and then later on, absolutely, like the biggest.
But the questioner said differently, Philip. So we're gonna get to that, or just gonna lie right to his face?
To pay for those trips, and then later on, absolutely, like the biggest tournament I ever placed at was Evo, which is the national.
Oh, gotta get this out,
There we go.
And I got 4th place.
Uh-huh.
And
Wow,
I
number one
went
American.
way into credit card debt to do that. Like I just wrapped up everything. to
He
be
already
able to
said
afford
that
to do it.
part.
I didn't make any money. I don't even think I got like $50 for getting like fourth
Whoa.
place, if that.
And why?
Hey, what does fourth place get? $50 now. We know it's not nothing.
So that Justin was wrong. We'll have to let him know that. If only he
And
had
they get even
bandos,
money.
we could DM him.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I got like $50 for getting like fourth place, if that. So
Maybe zero.
I don't know.
If that means zero. Okay, got it.
Know how people pulled it off back then. I was always jealous because there was always people who were able to go to like every single tournament, every single event. And I was the guy who was kind of grinding and struggling, this kind of a blue collar lifestyle to be able to try to afford this stuff.
Right.
I don't know how they were able to do it.
Okay, so let's just talk about how we answered that question. Instead of answering the question at all, we said about how other people could do more than me. Right? I don't know how they did it, but other people did more than me. That's not answer the question, sir, first of all. The question was, didn't you feel pressure to perform well, right? But, all right, we can just say a lot of
words. It's
words.
NFL's business because that is their money and their expenses, and that should not be Phil's concern. And yet he was really openly envious about their money.
It's jealous because it's like, I've got a job and I still have to take on loads of debt. I don't know how they could possibly have done it. And it's like, well, they saved.
Yeah,
that's how they did it.
Or just have well-off parents, or just the luck of the draw for them, essentially. You know what I mean? Got a good job,
Yes,
or just
always possible,
rich parents, or whatever. It just is what it is.
Another example of extremism here, because he's talking about people went to everything more than me. So he's probably talking about 2 or 3 people. And, one of them is Justin Wong, who would literally always do good enough to pay for it, right? And also would beg for money matches because he would always win.
Because he needed the money,
yeah. But he's just bringing that up like that's a lot of people, when actually, in actuality, that's like 2 or 3 people probably. But yeah, Tom, you don't even know there's people that went to more stuff than me, right? Just the same, similar
also,
to.
There were sometimes people that would be like, I can put you up for the night. If you come over, I can sort you out a place to stay. Or whatever. And so, if you weren't a cunt to people, you'd have like people you could rely on to say, like, yeah, I got you a place. You stay in the spare bedroom or whatever. Come down for the tournament. It'd be cool. So, friends.
Yeah, that's the key point. That's the hardest thing, isn't it?
What pushed you to keep doing it?
Well, let's see. Number one,
I'm a narcissist, and I have nowhere else to fit in. So I will pay a lot of money to fit into any community, even though they hate me so much. Other than that, I'm not sure.
I love competitive fighting games. I really get that.
Right.
You get that burst of adrenaline. You get that burst
Oh,
of
you get a burst.
competitive itch that, it feels good to compete in something and to be able to beat someone in something that you feel like you have skill. It's not just a game of chance. It's a game of skill. And so,
right. Do you say that about
So
Street
why
Fighter
not bankrupt
now?
yourself?
Do you say that about Street Fighter now, actually? It's a game of chance? How many times do we hear that? It's like rolling dice. Here we go.
Scrubs.
Here we go.
Skill. It's not just a game of chance. It's a game of skill. And so, the bragging rights of being able to go to a tournament and actually do well. It certainly was not money motivation. And I knew long term, at least back then, there was no prospects that you would do it for a living at all. So for me, it was just kind of internet bragging rights and just actually.
You weren't good enough for that. There was that option for some people even back then, but you have to be the top of the top for that, right? You have to be the literally best 1 or 2 or 3 people. But yeah.
Also, as we've seen through Density Scrolls, Super Turbo is like quite not balanced. So he would just like spam certain exploits. And when he would meet people who could actually play those characters, he'd get they'd wipe the floor with him.
Like the 3 Japanese players that came above him at Evo. Because they knew exactly the same exploits that he had tried to learn.
Yeah. They took that game seriously, unlike America did, and you see what happened.
To play these games competitively. Today, I actually will be honest, I think today it's kind of changed. You see people that are in competitive Street Fighter, and a lot of them, they kind of like criticize the games and everything. And it's like,
what?
I think they're in it just for the money because they can make a living doing it. And you know what? More power
Look who's talking.
What?
I can't think of a single player who's criticized the game more than him.
Yeah, but like it does. Just because you criticize something doesn't mean you don't like it. There's like NFL or I'm sure there's like Premier League players that criticize the league all the fucking time because they're doing shit that they think is wrong. They're still getting fuck ton of money and they still like it, but you can still criticize something. That's ridiculous.
When I was doing it, it was just grassroots stuff. You were doing it just because you felt like you liked the games.
Yeah.
This would gravitate into a career on streaming, which has been, as we say, 16 years now, and we want to touch on that. But let's do your second match, Phil. We had Hogan Warrior from WrestleMania 6. What would you like your second one to be?
Guesses, guys? Guesses?
I think we're going to be new gen. And I'm trying to think of like something stands out from New Gen. Oh fuck, that's hard.
That's what she
That's
said.
what she said.
Oh, gotcha.
Damn it.
Beat you. Beat you to it, bitch.
Maybe no. It won't. I'm thinking Hart Michaels, the Iron Man match, but I don't. I don't trust in that. I think Taker Mankind is a bit too. But
Old
I do
school.
think he would, because it's one of those matches that just transcends whatever era you're in. So I think he might have that.
I'll say Undertaker, Mankind throwing off the cage.
Yeah,
one,
Hell in a
'cause
Cell,
it's going to
yeah.
come up. Yeah.
And
All right,
I
so my
will say,
Yeah.
Steve, trust your instincts.
Okay.
Oh,
here we
fuck.
go.
Play it.
Second match is the Iron Man match between Hitman Bret Hart
Oh.
and HBK, Shawn Michaels. This is the match where it was like the first opportunity where Shawn was going to get his real shot at the title. And the fact that it was an Iron Man match that was guaranteed to go an hour, and we knew that these guys were some of the best technical wrestlers in the world. Everyone was hyped for this match, and they built it up really well. Like I watched it again last night, and even before the match started,
Oh, good, you found the button.
building this match up between
Yep.
HBK can live a dream to be
You
champion.
get
Bret
it.
been there 3 times. He wants to prove that he's the best and stop the upstart. And then the match
You
starts,
agree
it's
with
so
me,
good,
I know
and there's
it.
so many awesome spots, and you think this is going to be the first fall. No, this is going to be the first fall. No, this, and it just keeps going, and there's no falls. No one gets pinned. No one gets submitted. Like what is going on here? Like you would think like 20, 30 minutes, and these guys are getting gassed, and someone's going to, no, it just keeps going and going. And I don't even think there's like a moment in that match where like who's getting back, right? Like you know you have to be there because at any moment the first fall can happen, and that's going to flip the whole match on its head. And of course, spoiler alert here, but man, it goes the whole hour and there's no falls. Like what? I never expected back then it was going to be like that. It's just for that era, it really is showing how they're changing from the spectacle of like 2 big superheroes to like 2 guys who are like athletes, right? And that's what really what it was for me. Seeing that Bret Hart and HBK are amazing athletes, not just Ultimate Warrior beating each other and slamming each other.
It's the biggest bone of contention with a lot of people when it comes to that match, and it is a really strong match.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's a brand new format. It's the first Iron Man match they've ever done,
Right.
And the whole concept being that there could be loads of pinfalls during this match, and there's none. Like you didn't really utilize the new format of match that you've got, and I think that's where a lot of people were a bit divided by it. But from that match, as you say, it's packed with moments. Is there one moment in particular that you love from that match?
Yeah, I pulled Jeff Hardy while watching the match last night. That was awesome.
The end. The absolute end, because you don't see it coming because they go to overtime or whatever, and then
The most level 1 answer possible. Actually, the end is awesome. Yeah, cool.
I can finally get up and go for a piss.
It's
these
over.
guys are so
Hooray.
gassed because they worked so hard for the last hour. HBK hits him with the super kick, and he can't pin him. Like I think he was probably supposed to, and he can't pin Brett because he just can't move. He's so tired.
Wait. Is Phil trying to theorize something that should have happened? or something?
Philip! You think he was literally too tired to pin another wrestler? He still doesn't think it's scripted, I don't think.
Jesus. I mean, I'm sure they were knackered, a whole hour. And
you're
It's a
tired.
banger of a
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
But no, it's not. Oh my god, he couldn't complete the script. No.
Oh shit! They fucked up the finish. Michaels was just too tired.
Yeah, fuck, get up! What the fuck, dude?
They've worked so hard time or whatever, and then you can tell these guys are so gassed because they've worked so hard for the last hour. HBK hits him with the super kick, and he can't pin him. Like I think he was probably supposed to, and he can't pin Brett because he just can't move. He's so tired. So they both get up and they have to do it again to actually get the pinfall. After that, it's like you wonder, are you going to see another match like that again, right? And then they did have other Iron Man matches, but the matches usually had multiple pinfalls and highs and lows after. They didn't go
They
that whole
couldn't
crazy
do it.
hour again without a pinfall. And I think that's probably why, like what you're saying, people
Oh, see, some of you are saying that's not how it ends. I wish I could play the match, but you know how WWE is. They'll fucking get us for a second. So, but yeah.
were expecting that level and didn't really get it. It was such like a suspenseful thing. You can't take a break because at any moment, when's that first pinfall going to happen?
Phil rewatched this
I'm
last
trying to think,
night
so
and he got it
when
wrong.
Yeah, so could you explain how it really happened? HBK versus who? I kind of want to see like how someone else like the TLDR in this. It was HBK versus who? Bret Hart?
Bret Hart, yeah.
Yeah. Iron Man. Let's see. I just want to see what like
year it was. I think it was 13 or 14.
It was 26 years ago, by the way.
Beats me. That's a long bloody time ago. I've never actually seen the whole match. I've seen like highlights, but I've never seen the whole match.
Okay, there we go. Anyway, it's not
That match happened.
It's difficult to watch because there's no pinfalls. He's just, that.
Going
I
at
end
it.
up pissed so badly. I can't leave. I mean, it's a pinfall.
They're too tired. Too tired to do it, so they had to redo the spot.
I believe you would have been
Just
about
like on that
15, 'cause
SmackDown.
We're
Yeah, definitely.
we're both 40-year-old gentlemen, Phil.
2012, thank you.
So
Thanks,
you'd been in your teenage years at that point, because the idea of streaming for a living was one that just didn't exist. So what was the goal for you? What did you want to do with yourself when you were a teenager?
This is interesting because they set up this interview like, all right, we got to talk about the rest of the matches or whatever. But it's like, get to the rest of the match, dip out. Let's ask more about shit people care about in terms of DSP.
Yeah.
So let's hear.
Oh man, I had no idea.
Here we go.
I was all over the place, especially in my school years. A lot of people don't know this, but it just came out recently in a big 4-hour documentary about me. I was the valedictorian of my high school.
Oh yeah, everyone knows about that. That's the most high spot of it.
And so like my prospects were kind of open in what I wanted to do, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do at all. Like I thought about at one point, I wanted to do computer programming because in the late 90s, that was like the big thing to do. You go to school for computer programming, you're going to go out with a tech job, you're going to make a lot of money. So I worked my ass off all through high school thinking that's what I was going to do. I go to college.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. DSP Flag it just said, the real ending, HBK was in a sharpshooter as time ran out with score 0-0 and didn't submit. Authority Figure comes out and said there was a sudden death. HBK hits kick on Brett in OT for the win. So is Philip claiming that while HBK was in the sharpshooter, he was too tired to submit? He was too tired to tap out?
No.
Okay. Just want to make
I
sure.
think he's claiming like when he hit the sweet chin music and then collapsed on the floor as well, feels like, he's actually tired.
Okay,
so
gotcha,
they'll have to
gotcha.
redo it.
Okay.
No.
And I'm in my first year in college and the tech bubble bursts. And all those jobs that were out there are going away. I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to do now? Right. So I ended up changing around a few different times and kind of flubbed around. I ended up being a business major for finance and didn't really do anything with it. I don't think I've ever done a job in my life where that degree has come in any use whatsoever.
Apart from the last 16 years.
Well,
earning money.
He didn't talk about computer
yourself.
You forgot about computer science, Philip. Why didn't you bring that up?
That was where you were looking to do, but then obviously the streaming world came calling at just the right time, it seems, because then that's been you for 16 years now doing this. With those early days when you were starting out, where did you think this would go?
Oh man, I didn't.
Oh God!
Honestly, to be completely honest with you, I didn't think
We've
it
heard
was
it
going
before,
to
I
go
know.
When I started, I had a 9-to-5 job. I was working an office job at a helicopter company. And I
Oh
would come home,
God!
and my way to unwind after a day of stressful work was to turn on a game, put a camera on a tripod in front of me, point it at the TV, hit record, and just talk. Just blab, talk shit, say stupid stuff.
G&T.
And people loved it. People loved that like improv style of commentary. You never knew what I was going to say or do. Half the time I was drinking, so I was slurring and being stupid and playing the game horribly. And that was kind of part of the shtick. It wasn't
you were slurring, all right.
Partly depressed as well, partly depressed, apparently.
That was part of the shtick, though, guys.
Serious video game guy making playthroughs or instructional videos. It was just a guy messing around and having fun. And a lot of people had said my original videos, it feels like you're just in a room with your bud. And
big up, TJ.
You're having fun hanging out while playing a video game, and that's the appeal of it. I never in a million years thought that I was going to be like monetizing videos, becoming a streamer, making a living doing this. It all just kind of happened out of nowhere. After having that office job for about 4.5, 5 years, I got laid off out of nowhere. They downsized the company. And I'd been doing YouTube as this hobby for 2.5 years. And all of a sudden, I was like, what do I do? I just had bought a condo to be closer to that job. I had all this debt. What am I going to do?
That is actually not true, right? I believe the parents'
story.
Yeah, the parents' house was just as far away from Sikorsky as the condo. He just wanted to have his own place. So, and I know some people say it was to impress the girl. I'm not sure there's any proof, enough proof of that.
Debatable.
Debatable,
it's canon in my head, damn it.
He did buy it
It's real to me.
from someone they knew from the job, though. So yeah,
it was actually my viewers who egged me on. This is, why don't you try to do YouTube for a living? We like you. You get thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I love seeing that. We like you. Try to do it as a job, dude.
Actually, my viewers who egged me on, this is, why don't you try to do YouTube for a living? We like you. You get thousands and thousands of views on all your stuff.
Yep.
And it was a rough road getting started, but eventually I found a way to make it work. I was one of the first people monetizing video game playthroughs on YouTube. While everyone else was struggling, they couldn't put ads on them. I partnered with a network that let me do that. And
you skipped over a few arcs, didn't you? But okay, yeah, we're talking about after Hello Jew at this point. But go ahead.
And then kind of the rest became history, where I just kept pumping out content as much as I could, and it became my job.
He's not lying
Talk
there.
us through in 2024 what a day in the life looks like as a full-time streamer.
Well, wake up about 11. Try to remember where I'm at.
Oh, this could be quite like when Side Scrollers asked him, so what is a day in your life like?
Okay, here's the question. Poll question to Steve. I know you know King Jad.
Mm-hmm.
Does he talk about woodland critters or going to the bathroom? Either one is fine.
Ooh.
I can't actually remember. I watched this earlier. I can't remember.
Okay. So, okay, I'll throw that in too.
I think he's going to skip over it.
Lemtex has a good point. We just say bathroom. Does he say woodland critters or does he say cat? All those cat. Are fine. He'll say cat. Sorry, cat. I mean feline. Feline cat, not wife.
Oh, not the fat cat. Right.
I think both.
Hey,
I spend time with my wife and my cat.
Okay,
then
here
I
we
go
go.
upstairs the street. I think we're getting both.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I wake up in the morning and do my thing. Have some breakfast. Pop open Twitter or gaming news sites. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the gaming world for that day because every day I do a live podcast. So I try to get topics together and talk to my moderators. Sometimes they have.
Look at Tom when he answered that. Like, oh yeah.
Because every day I do a live podcast. So I try to get topics together.
Yeah.
Talk to my moderators. Sometimes they have good ideas of things for me to talk about during a given day.
Yeah.
I'm in the office in the morning for about an hour doing setup. I'm getting stuff together to play on the podcast.
No. I hate that lie. He's always tried to maintain that lies in his office a whole hour before he starts a podcast. That is the biggest load of crap ever. There is no way in hell that he can be so. Because when he starts a stream, with guys, I'm trying to set up. I'm trying to get set up. I'm just getting this added. I'm getting that added. If he's been in his office since 10 a.m. his time.
Yep.
What was he doing for the past 45 minutes before that? When he's like, guys.
Yeah,
bro. It's not an hour. We know how long it takes him to come. He's in the office 5 minutes tops before stream.
Yeah, that's maximum. I'm telling you. Okay, on Sundays. Before that being said, I do a show on WPIG, right, with the songs and stuff. Mm-hmm. I legitimately, this is not a lie. Honestly, I have an alarm set for 7:12. I start the stream at 7:15. It takes me 3 minutes to wake up and start streaming. That's how long it takes. If you're prepared beforehand, which is all it takes.
And Phil's streams are prepared as well because he has them set up already. Remember, because he has them set up ahead of time so people can join early and like or whatever and talk in his chat and get an alert for it.
Wait, so you don't get up, you don't go to the toilet, you don't pull down your pants, you don't have a bowel movement, you don't empty your bladder, you don't then pull your pants back up, flush the toilet, and then wash your hands, brush your teeth, and then you leave the bathroom, and then you go down the stairs, and then you go down the next stair, and then the next stair, and you don't do all that.
I forgot the woodland critters, all that shit too. I skip it.
My first broadcast begins around 11:15 a.m. Pacific time. And I do about an hour to an hour and a half podcast every morning. It's called the Level 1 Podcast.
Oh, thank you.
It could be me talking about a game I just played. It could be
talk about trying to get clout from LTG. Could be making fun of Ethan Ralph, believing what he says is actually legitimate. I could also shit on my detractors. It's really fun. Check it out.
News. I could have a guest on the show that I'm interviewing. It could be drama, internet drama, people talking about me.
Regular thing.
Someone. It's always something different. Then after that ends, I usually play some.
It's mostly stalling and begging for money.
Yeah, spot on.
Usually, for the last 30 minutes, I'm usually just doing Q&A to hopefully get some more tips before gameplay starts.
Make sure all support comes in so I don't have to worry about it during gameplay. I don't want to mention support during gameplay, so make sure this podcast is well flush.
You understand that, right, Tom?
For a few hours, and it could be anything. I'm known as the jack of all trades. I'll play
jack of all trades.
Jack of
an RPG, a fighting game, a horror game, Call of Duty. You name it, I play it.
You
I'm
name
not
it, brother.
Necessarily great at many of them. I would say probably the best that I'm at is Street Fighter because I've been playing that my whole life. But I play
that's
other
the best.
too, and I'm actually pretty decent at Call of Duty, I would say. But for the most part, I'm a guy who's just kind of Joe Average.
Overall,
right?
I'm one of the best gamers in the country.
Yeah, I could pick up a controller and be good at any game if I put effort into it.
How well did Phil do at it? Well, maybe that would help us guess how well we would do at it if we were to play that game.
Right.
So I stream for 3 more hours of gameplay, and then I take a break where I upload all that content, cut it up, put it into playlist, have dinner with my wife, and then I come on for a second stream every night for about another 2-3 hours where I either play another game or sometimes I do reacting content where I'll react to clips that were submitted by my viewers. Or now I've been around so long.
Yep.
I've started reacting to my old content. Like I go back 10, 12 years and I watch an old playthrough of mine, the old style.
Tom's passing out.
Camera pointed at the
Tom's passing out at this point. Look, the blinks have picked up.
TV.
Yeah.
And people like that because now it's different. Everything today is modern. You got a big HD camera and everything's great. But back then things were so different, so guerrilla style almost, making content. And to go back and see my origins, the kind of commentary I used to do versus today, it's pretty fun to do. So it's a pretty busy day. I mean, I'm working as early as like 8 to 9 a.m. all the way through probably like 10 p.m. on these workdays. And then it doesn't end because then I'm doing more content, flipping videos.
I am working. He includes waking up and going to the bathroom as his work day, like waking up. He's not counting the 8 or 9 a.m. thing. That's not in his office. He's in his office by his own testimony by 10 a.m. at the earliest, you know what I mean, to try and prepare. So he's literally including the act of waking up from sleeping as him beginning work.
Yes, obviously. And also, but Tolo in the last week's stream did say stream is a pretty cush job, right, Phil? And Philip kind of agreed with him at that point, but now it's a pretty busy day, of course.
Highlights for my channel. I'm looking for the next topic to talk about. I'm contacting people behind the scenes to try to arrange for more guests on my show.
Sending messages.
So it's a pretty busy life, to be honest.
It's interesting that you're at a point now where you are reacting to a lot of your older footage because, you know, with 16 years behind you, there'll be a lot. I seem to remember, and I don't know whether this is something that's come up yet with yours. There was a particular old stream that you had where you had the camera and you were doing your commentary and you had the window open and your neighbor very clearly tells you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, classic. Yeah, I remember that. I was totally a bitch.
Oh, that's a funny story about that neighbor. You'd never believe.
How are you with the neighbor?
Oh, that was when I lived in Connecticut. I had a condo, and some of the neighbors were very nice. My next door neighbor was a drunk. Like he literally would drop himself into a stupor every day, go to the back door, open his cell phone.
Yeah, so both of you were two peas in a pod then, huh?
We have the same hobby.
Conversations, yelling into the phone. So I know all about this guy's life because he was just so obnoxious. Right. And yeah, particularly this was one day where I was recording and it was hot, so I had the back door open. And so he's out there drunk and he hears me playing the game and he's yelling at me. We went back and forth, but the funniest story I have about that guy.
Huh? We went back and forth? We went back and forth. Is that what happened?
Yeah, he would tell him to shut up and shut the fuck up, and Phil would be like, okay.
Yeah,
that'll be back and forth.
I believe you're being gaslit right now. If you've seen this and you remember different, this is Phil gaslighting you into believing something else.
Okay, so let's just play it here because what is what the podcast's for. Let's hear how they go back and forth. Okay, let's hear the back and forth real quick. Oh, sorry about that.
I can't die like this. I can't die like this. I always picture myself dying having a threesome with Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. You gotta make it happen, Spider-Man.
Shut the fuck up.
That's not it yet. That's not it. Here it is, this room.
Another fight, huh? The more the merrier. See, everyone wanted me to play Mafia too. This is the same shit, right?
This person's adding a lot of interest clips to it.
It's coming up with that bad boy. Very close to it.
Oh, yeah, and some for you. And for you too. How about for you? Stop it. I don't want to grab him. I never tried to grab him. What the fuck?
It's coming.
Whirlwind punch. Whirlwind punch. Whirly wind. Spinning wind attack of the wind fist wind. I can't stop fucking attacking. Look. I'm just gonna keep walking forward, see, and swinging my fist.
Just quick, notice how much he's talking here during all this gaming, right? He's talking. He can't stop talking. Okay.
Around, see, and if you get in the way, it's your own fault. See.
Where is it?
Almost there.
Why you guys gotta pick on me? Don't you have some prohibition gig to run? All she wrote.
What? What?
Oh boy. Say uncle.
It's just right here. There it is.
There it was, right there.
There it was, right there.
Silence. Silence.
This is the fourth part of the back and forth.
Yep. This is where the back and forth starts. This is a hell of a back and forth.
Phil, you okay?
You okay, buddy?
You still there, Phil?
Right to kiss.
Not talking yet. Not talking yet.
Take a load off.
Shut the fuck up.
That was the back and forth. He shut the door, by the way. He got up and shut the door, then said it.
Take a load off.
Shut the fuck up.
Hear that? He shut the door and then says, shut the fuck up. How many examples of this do we have now? 11-year-old on VR chat left the room before saying anything, right? Craig
Cut the call off.
He hung up on him first and then, yeah, that's right.
Okay, hell of a back and forth here. Let's hear how Phil describes that moment.
And he hears me playing the game and he's yelling at me. We went back and forth, but the funniest story I got about that.
We did my back and forth. It was a whole thing.
Oh, I want to bet that the funny story actually involves this person like being harmed in some way, and Phil finds that hilarious.
Yep, making him be an asshole in some way. Let's go.
That guy. So it's the middle of winter. Okay, it's like 1 a.m. I'm asleep in bed.
Right.
I start getting a knock on my back porch door. I'm like, who the fuck is knocking on my door at 1 a.m? So I try to ignore it, and then I hear him start hollering. He's yelling, "Hey, I need your help!" Hey. So I get out of bed. I put on bathrobe. You know, I go to the bed. I'm like, "What the hell are you doing on my back porch?" "Oh, I went to check the mail. I locked myself out, and it's freezing. Can you let me in?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
Camera moved.
Yep.
Camera moved.
So
that
was the kind of neighbor I used
Lean
to
in,
have. Well, I don't
Chandler,
live there anymore. Now, as of the last decade, I now live in Washington State. And it's
that was the
nowhere
funny
near as bad.
story.
That was the funny
Jeep got
part.
locked out.
Yep. And let me tell you,
Yeah,
that was
that's how they got
extremely
Phil.
truthful. Yeah, extremely truthful. When you have
That
to
was
add
hilarious,
details
don't you
like,
know?
yeah, back in the day, it was really cold, so I had to put on like bathrobe, you know, the kind of bathrobe. It wasn't cotton though. What was the material? I think it was
Was it
polyester.
from Sky Mall?
Yeah, probably.
Like that.
So you don't stay in touch then? No?
No, not with that guy. I don't think I want to speak with him again. Hell no.
I don't have any friends at all, Tom, so it makes it easier. Anyways, go ahead.
When we talk about moments through your time, there's been some real bright moments that we've seen. We can't not talk about the event.
Oh, God.
and I think, you know,
A lot of bright moments. Let's start with the event.
me.
Of course.
So I will.
The incident. It's called the incident.
The incident, rather. So I will ask bluntly, because I'm always intrigued to know, Phil, what did go through your mind when you realised that mid-wank that your camera was on?
Oh, you didn't realize mid Tom.
Yeah, it wasn't midwank. It was post-failure wank.
Post no clarity.
What else can you say?
What?
I mean, shit. Right? Like, what else can you say? You're like, oh, it was on, huh? Well, that's interesting. What I mean, everything goes through your head. Number one, what did they see? Because Lord, please tell me they didn't see anything that's going to get me banned from the internet or whatever. And what else happened? Because luckily for me, like the microphone wasn't on. It was just. In reality,
they couldn't hear what I was listening to.
It could have been much worse, right? You're talking about a fuzzy webcam, no audio, you couldn't see anything. So it was just kind of a really stupid, embarrassing moment. But you think, hey, this is my job, right? So now how am I going to handle this? You got to handle it right, because if you do it,
This is my job, but I wank out before streaming.
This could be career.
This is my hand job.
Something like that. You could just become the joke forever. And
as you're seeing now, it still is happening, because every time you do an interview, someone has to ask about it. So it's kind of been a joke forever, hasn't it?
Some really good advice from someone.
It's the strangest retcon as well, because I was like, for people who were there at the time when this happened, who are watching it live, Phil did not roll for it immediately.
No, God, no. Did. Yeah.
I was about to say, one of the things that went through his mind was, I'll tell him I was scratching my leg.
And he told people to ban people. Ban people on site that mention it.
Banned everywhere.
Yeah.
King of Hate forums, ban if you mention it, everything.
It's easy, guys. Just ban people if you see people talking about it. He said that in his own chat. He said he was doing various things. Did not roll with it until Daddy Keemstar said, I want to make a show about it, and that's what changed his tune. He said, oh, shit. Keemstar's talking about it, then I kind of have to own up to it. And then maybe I can get something out of it, I guess. But
also, it was written about in The Sun, the biggest newspaper in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, you can't run around from it. You can't run away from it. But all right, here's a better one. Okay, keep going. Yes.
From the shoulders.
Say it was something else.
Shoulders are bad.
Own up to it. In fact, I'm gonna roll with it.
Minecraft looking Phil.
You know, and I did. I started tweeting people about it. I changed my avatar on Twitter to like the Adam from He-Man going like this with his face, avatar meme and everything. And people loved it. They loved the fact that I was joking with it.
People loved it.
Seriously, it worked, you know. And I'm glad that I did it that way.
By the way, don't forget that.
Well, I'm not glad that it happened. I'm just glad that
I was really depressed at the time,
and that it wasn't the way, you know. Well, I'm not glad that it happened. I'm just glad that I spun it that way.
I'm glad that I spun it that way. Okay.
And that it wasn't, you know, any worse than it definitely could have been.
I think the big takeaway.
I didn't try to blame it on me ex immediately. Yeah.
I didn't bring up the shit about it blaming Panda till many years later.
That is always to own things like that, and also
exactly the opposite of what Philip did until forced to
wank in a different room. But I think the big takeaway is to
nice.
Like that, and also to wank in a different room. But I think the big takeaway is to learn from it and move on from it in the way that you did. I was always intrigued by the vest stuff, because that is another thing that seemed to take on a life of its own, and it speaks a lot to
the stupidity of people of low mental intelligence or socially awkward, or what was the other? How did June put it again? The 3 qualifiers of DSP fans.
The loyalty of a lot of your supporters, the fact that they happen. So tell the story of the vest streak.
So this took place, I believe it was 1.5. So we're talking, you know, early COVID days, right? And everyone's kind of stuck at home and they want to watch
the
content.
lonely,
And I was there, you know, I was broadcasting throughout COVID normally, double streams a day, and people really appreciate it.
Just the 13 credit cards,
I think like February, March, I was doing what was called like a retrospective marathon, where I was going back and watching clips of my old content and stuff like that. And a clip came up where all of a sudden I'm doing like a vlog from like 10 years ago, and I have a vest on. It's this beige puffy vest, and people are looking to watch the video. They're like, Phil, do you have that?
2.5?
When did you wear that? We don't even remember that vest at all. And I said,
I go 4, 5.
And lo and behold, I swear I didn't know it was there.
Set phasers to milk.
So I came back on the stream and I put on his vest, and people loved it. They're like, "Oh, you do something with it? You like if you raise a certain amount during the stream, you put it on as a reward, a silly thing, as a meme." I was like, "Sure, why not? Who cares? Right? It's not a big deal." But lo and behold, my supporters did the craziest thing. It was something like 200 plus, 300 plus streams where they would hit this funding goal of tips that they would tip me on the stream, and I would put the vest on. And let me tell you, it really helped out, because at that point in my life, you know, 4.5 years ago, I was going through really bad financial troubles, and the fact that I got that level of support actually got me through that year without having anything major really happen back. But it was wild.
There was a bankruptcy in that year.
That, in addition to bankruptcy, it really helps out. Who would have guessed it?
Vests, like what different vests, like different colors. I got a big metallic one. I got a neon orange one. You know, it doesn't really have any significance. No, the vest doesn't mean anything. But if anything, maybe it just goes to show that despite
the vest doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
This vest is a symbol of what we can do as a community if we stick it to the haters or whatever the fuck. What was that? What was the whole thing? I can't remember.
Knows. It changes every thing.
Anyways,
he had a 200 streak celebration, didn't he?
This vest is a symbol. Yeah.
Like all the vitriol and all the hate against me on the internet, I really do have a core fan base of really nice people who support me and like what I do and are going to be there for me in those tough times. You know, that's a crazy streak. It was like 4 months where every stream I was.
I guilt tripped my fans for many months to keep that streak going. Tom, it was a big deal. The last 100 or so, I had to beg the fuck out of people. I would beg tweet 4 times a day before a stream. It was a lot of work, Tom.
I left the stream on for 11 minutes hoping that someone would come through. That's how it got.
It was super tough, Tom.
Some of them were right to the wire as well. I remember like it was sort of like into the hundreds of them, and you were like, okay, that's the end of the stream. We've not hit the goal. Okay, bye. Right, I'm going now. Bye. Here we go. Leaving now. Definitely going. Definitely leaving now. Any more? Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow, Tom! I didn't expect to see that.
Rewind that and slow it down in case people missed it. But yeah, Tom was not going to let that go quietly.
I'll slow it down. My bad. I'll spit up. I didn't expect that.
Okay, that's the end of the stream. We've not hit the goal.
I should have warned you.
Right, I'm going now. Bye. Here I go. Leaving now. I'm definitely going. Title card up. Definitely leaving now. Oh, there we go. Oh, we're on. Hey. So there was. It was to the wire at a few points, but it does speak to the support that you've had. But when your name comes up,
mental illness of this country. But yeah, go ahead. When your name comes
as well as that support, you do come with infamy, as it was proved when it was announced that you were joining us. Is there an event that you think really started that Dark Side Phil detractor move?
Oh, I've heard this one before.
Okay, the poll here is: do we say the name? Do we say the name? Evil AJ.
Ooh.
Yes or no,
yes.
Steve? Okay,
Yes.
chat. Yes or no? Do we say the name? Evil AJ. Will he get the shout out? Here we go.
You know,
Wait,
it's
what do
funny.
you think?
I think no. I don't think I think he's now. Like, I don't want to give him any recognition, Evil AJ, even though he has a suite in his head for free, rent free. I should.
This all came to like realization very recently. There was just a documentary made about me on YouTube. It's a 4-hour documentary.
Something else?
It
Okay.
covers my whole history from the beginning of my Street Fighter days all the way through my early YouTube, all the way up to now. And by the way, I'm going to give a plug. It's from June the King. He's a really good internet documentarian.
Definitely
He got
great.
screwed on this video because guess what?
What?
WWE claimed the video because he had like a 2-second clip of Vince McMahon in
Irrelevant.
it.
He put it back up, but it's already over 100,000 views. I think he's doing fine.
And they claimed all
I'm
his
sure
revenue
Tom
on
has
his
experience of this.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Okay.
unbelievable, right? He puts all this work, like months and months of work. Anyway, so I watched this documentary about myself, and that's a good question. Like, where was the tipping point where people wanted to laugh with me, but then decided instead, screw that guy, let's laugh at him, right?
Again, trying to say it's not his own actions that led to people doing that, but go ahead.
And really, I think that point was probably around the years of 2011, 2012. So a while
There we
ago, I started playing games that I had missed that were known to be like really great rated games, like highly regarded games. But during that era when I was playing competitive Street Fighter, I wasn't really playing a lot of video games. So I missed out on so many games from like that early PS1, PS2 era.
Just say you were playing.
Just say it.
Coming out of these games.
Oh my God, so many words. Just say I was playing a game called Metal Gear Solid.
And
Metal Gear.
I started playing a particular
Metal Gear
collection.
Solid, whatever,
the
2 it
Metal
was.
Gear Solid,
Yeah.
2 and 3 collection. And I remember playing, the first one I played was Metal Gear Solid 2. And my way of making videos back in the day was a lot different than what I do today. I would literally ham it up. I would go over the top of my commentary.
That's
and I
not
would
what
rip
Evil
the game a
AJ
new
was
asshole,
addressing.
Like, this game sucks because of this and this. The game developer's an asshole. So I knew that Hideo Kojima was like a beloved guy in the gaming community. And I said, I'm going to do the worst I can. I was insulting him constantly during the playthrough that I was doing. I wasn't taking the game seriously. So I was trying to make the game kind of look bad. Now,
I was trying to make the game look bad.
I think you'll find the opposite happened. The game made him look bad.
Yes.
now normally
Unfortunately.
I would use it, and people would get it, right? They'd laugh at it. Okay, that's Phil's shtick. He's a clown. He's being a
Wow,
heel.
we are just
It's
totally
all good.
retconning this.
People got
Fair bit of context missing here. Fair bit of context.
Yeah.
pissed
Yep.
at me for doing it for this series because they really like the series and they like Hideo Kojima. And this, for one person particularly, made a video called "This Is How You Don't Play."
What
Metal
was his
Gear
name?
Solid 2. And
Say
what
his
it was,
name.
he took a montage of all the moments that I was acting like an asshole, insulting Kojima, playing stupidly.
Not reading the directions, failing so many times, you wanted to quit the game. Many more things he included in that. And also the comments of people saying the same things. But go
And
ahead.
just made this like super cut. And it was like over an hour long. The playthrough itself was probably like 15 hours long. It was like 1 hour of the worst moments. This video exploded on YouTube. It got this guy like 1 million views. And he made another one on Metal Gear Solid 3. And when people started to see, hey, if we make these negative videos that skew Phil in a negative light, it gets tons of views.
Reminder that was not monetized, by the way, by Evil AJ at that time. It was not monetized. It was not about money.
Do it for everything.
Wasn't about
But okay,
views.
let's go. Yep.
So they started, like every playthrough I'd ever done, they started doing, this is how you don't play. This is how you don't play.
Yep.
And it just became this movement of like, Phil is a negative meme. He's who you shouldn't be on YouTube. He's the guy who sucks at games, but somehow gets views and popularity and money, and he shouldn't have the ability to do that. So I think that was like the first thing. And the reason really that it got traction is my fault. I reacted very poorly.
Because it was actually fucking funny. That's why it got traction at the first place. He helped it with how much he hated them. That made it more entertaining for people to enjoy them. But they were fucking funny. That's why they got traction.
Also, shame on
Yep.
you. If you ever made This Is How You Don't Play, you almost got him killed.
If you watched This Is How You Don't Play, that's attempted murder, by the way. So don't forget that. Attempted murder if you enjoyed any of those.
And I kind of thought my shit didn't stink. And I'm like, I'm the popular YouTuber and I know what I'm doing. And I've done this for all these other games before and no one gave a shit. Why is it a big deal that I did this for Metal Gear Solid? So I was, oh, this guy's an asshole for making the video. He stole my content without my permission. I'm just ignoring all fair use law and shit when I'm saying this, But, I basically reacted really poorly, and it just made people want to make those videos more.
Yes.
And it really did kind of flip public opinion against me at that time. And it just kind of kept steamrolling for different reasons over the years. Because,
by the way, that's not even true. By the way, I know some of you say in the chat, he was already disliked in SRK from the Street Fighter days. He was hated on SRK forums. I hope you've seen enough evidence of that. Also, there was already detractor channels well before Evil AJ was around. DSP Cult Leader, DSP, other shit. People were clipping him. People were clipping the insane shit he was doing. He was already a very well established detractor base before Evil AJ said anything. Okay, not like it is today, obviously not. But there was still already people showing how he begs for shit. He's incredibly bad at games. He makes fun of people. He says if anything you question Philip, negative comments, he would blow up at you about those. All that shit was already being clipped on the YouTube at that time.
You start off innocent. It's just we're making fun of Phil's gameplay, right? He sucked at the game or whatever. But then it becomes, well, that's not enough. So now we got to make fun of his mannerisms. We got to make fun of the fact that he has a medical condition. We got to make fun of the fact that he looks an ass. And then it becomes, oh, let's talk about his family members. Let's talk about his private shit behind the scenes. It's like, whoa. When did we get from he's a bad YouTuber to like he's the devil? And that's really the transition that kind of happened over the last.
Because this is how you don't play.
Thanks, Evil AJ.
Don't play.
Thanks, Evil AJ. Look what you did. You made people make fun of me for my post-nasal drip and gout, actually. Thank you.
And seeing how far they can get making this negative content. There's YouTube channels out there. They recently revealed they're making $5,000-$6,000 a month.
Shout outs, duty streams. Why is he so hung up on that? Like that video changed his fucking life, didn't it? Duty's video.
Because it's more than he paid.
Yeah, I know. That's really what gets to him.
Well, Phil makes roughly that same. He's no far off, He's no far off his metric himself. But he just can't stand the fact that someone. And Dudy's usually got more success. Dudy didn't stream that month, remember? But that was his metrics and performance for just the videos alone. But streaming side of things, he would usually get even more on top of that. So yeah, Phil also naturally envious that people are fucking making fun of him, and at the same time also making bank off making fun of him. No, so not every single detractor is doing this. Not every single detractor monetizes the content.
Yeah.
Some, Piece of Peace, for example, is one of the most popular restreamers out there, and he asks his audience, if you're going to give it anything, give it to Jasper's Angels, a charity. And but obviously each to their own. It's up to individual ones what they want to do. But Phil just obviously naturally can't handle. They're making money off me, and they just really irks him because it's like that should be my money, but they're making money and making fun of me.
It's that he thinks that's his money. He should be the one that gets that money because that's his content that you're using to make money. That should be mine.
But it's transformative because we do things transformative usually.
Yeah.
Out there, they recently revealed they're making $5,000-$6,000 a month monetizing hate content about me every day.
Monetizing hate content, clipping what I do every day. Okay,
really
cool. Yep.
They're making a living doing this. It's pretty insane. So I think that's where it started, and that's how it evolved over the last decade, and why there's so much of it.
You mentioned about how those earlier days, the character was, as you say, the heel. In typical wrestling parlance, you were the heel, and you were raging against the games. And then you've also mentioned that, because I sucked at these games. How much of it was you playing a character that was just kicking off at games? How much of it was, I'm not very good at these, and I feel a bit hurt that people are calling me out on it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's about 50-50, right? Because previously, again, I had never gotten like hate from making that kind of content. People thought it was good. They thought it was funny. They kind of got the joke. No. And then all of a sudden, when I play Metal Gear Solid,
he received
don't get the joke anymore. Now it's like, well, you're an asshole.
No.
And yeah, I'll admit, like I was like, I don't get it. I thought that I knew what I was doing. I've been doing it at that point, since 2008 to like 2012. So you're talking a good, 4+ years. I've been making it a living for about 1.5 years, 2 years doing it. And the fact that the public opinion flipped on me like on a dime out of nowhere,
that is such a retcon. I cannot begin to explain how much of a retcon that is. That public perception changed based on that. I'm afraid not.
It is wild that he thinks that that's like just remotely. If one video is all it takes to completely flip people, then you've done some terrible shit that you've got away with because that video has revealed, hey, look, he's this bad, and everyone goes, oh yeah, shit.
So we're not going to walk about.
Like, you're up there with, Jimmy Savile and everyone thinking he's great, and then that documentary comes out, and then boom, you're at that level. If one video is all it takes, Fuck me.
This is a video from 2011. I'm just as an example here. This channel has hundreds of videos about this. Not hundreds, but 50 or so. Just about how Philip was an asshole. He says, "Look, you must agree with DSP blames game developer for bad genetics."
Against right now is a lot of people on these videos are only on the videos for Brink. Okay, people are jumping on there just to shit on the game, and I'm getting pretty tired of it at this point because it would be one thing if it's annoying when I'm playing a game like Thor and I know it's a bad game, but I want to finish it. This game isn't so bad, and people are still just shitting on it, and I'm getting tired of it. So I'm going to warn you right now.
Yeah, it's subjective, but let's see how he talks to his audience in 2011.
Cut the shit. If I see you just shitting all over Brink for no
Cut
reason,
the shit.
I'm going to block you. And then in addition to that, there are some people who are like, "Oh, you quit playing MotorStorm for this?" Yeah, I quit playing MotorStorm because my fucking hand hurt from playing the game, okay? And that's an inexcusable problem. Like, how can you make a game where I can't play it for longer than an hour and
Guys, stop.
because my fucking hand hurts. That's ridiculous. But in addition to that, as you know, I was busy this past week. I went to the Too Many Games convention. Stuff's been going on. I'm going to go back to MotorStorm. I said that all along. I'm not quitting the game. And it's really annoying when I'm watching Brink, and usually I read the comments on my videos to find out what people think about the game, and I see half the comments are, "Play MotorStorm. Why'd you quit MotorStorm? I want to see MotorStorm." I'm done with it. And if I see you fucking talking about that, I'm going to block you. I'm done with it.
So as you can see, this is a small example, like not even a big deal, but how no other YouTuber would, treats their audience like this, like such of an asshole, right? So that people took note of it. It's got 11,000 views in 2011. So people already knew what an asshole DSP was before Evil AJ decided to make it this how you don't play. I want to make that extremely clear. You know what I mean? So this is 100% retcon, but go ahead.
It was shocking. And so I was hurt. And I'll admit, I admit this now. I wouldn't have said it back then, but I had an ego. And I thought,
you think?
I was big shit.
No
Like,
shit.
how dare you criticize me? My content's the best. How dare you say that this isn't good? And I think that's why it rubbed people the wrong way, and it turned that opinion against me. In reality, I knew I wasn't good at the games. I didn't really care. Like that.
Okay,
I wasn't
wow.
trying to be a person making instructional videos. I wasn't saying here's a speed run or here's a walkthrough. They were always called playthroughs. My honest, silly commentary over whatever.
You're honest and silly.
I was playing. I think most people who were fans of mine got that joke, but it's really when people started making these videos, this is how you don't play. I started getting exposure to a new audience, and it was that new audience that didn't get the joke. And that's when that negative flip happened.
It was a joke.
Right.
It was
You were the joke, though.
It was a joke. Okay, gotcha.
Ego come from?
Ooh, where?
And that's when that negative flip
Hold on.
Where does that ego come from?
Well,
Good question.
it comes from being an only child and not having any friends.
Oh man, from Street Fighter. 100% from my Street Fighter days. Because back in the day, it was all about being the biggest shit talker, being the biggest heel in the Street Fighter community. You wanted to be big shit. You wanted to go to a tournament and have everyone care about you playing the game.
Basically.
This is on purpose. I wanted people to hate me. Gotcha.
I was a humongous heel in the Street Fighter community during the 2000s. I would talk so much shit online. Now, today I regret it. This is one of the things that I went over when I watched and reacted to this 4-hour documentary about myself. I know that I was an asshole, and now I'm in my 40s. I totally regret that stupid behavior.
Right.
But back then, I thought, hey, I'm creating hype for a Street Fighter event.
Right,
I would be this brash, over-the-top shit talker. That definitely translated into my early YouTube career, where I was the guy who was always talking shit about the game developer, and it's never my fault. Never did I ever do anything wrong, right? It's always the game that's at fault, not Phil.
You still do that now, but okay.
Yeah.
It's the game that was designed poorly or whatever.
It was like Tom's blinking in Morse code to you.
Yep.
And then I got the bigger exposure for the videos. They were like, who's this asshole? Right? Like, why is he acting like he's so much better than everybody else? And I think rightly so. That's why I got that negativity tossed my way.
Right. Go ahead, Steve.
It boils down to the fact that it was easier for him to be a prick to people than it was to actually be nice to people. He wanted attention, and there's two ways you can get it. You can either be like, an all right person who just gets on with people and you get attention naturally because, you're interacting with them and talking to them and being nice and whatever. Or you could be like the loudmouth prick that nobody wants to hang out with. And he decided that was much easier, or at least online. Then when he got to actually facing the people that he'd been shit talking,
he was nice, remember? Remember, he was a coward over the Jaha, or people would say, like, Philip's way different in real life, huh? He's quiet. He kind of sits there because he doesn't have any social skills in real life. So what comes out is the quiet
question, guy. What is the old version?
Yeah.
I mean, Is there any true answer to that? Who knows?
If you could
I
go
don't
back
think even Phil knows at this point.
Yeah.
and see through the eyes that you have now, the way you reacted to those first here's how you don't play
totally roll it different. I would basically
roll it
not
different.
only laugh at them, but
I would make I'll roll a new character. Totally fine. Roll it again. I would
Oh, you're
roll it
engaging this
different.
hypothetical now with Tom. But
Yeah,
when someone
definitely.
in chat asks you, "Hey Phil, what would you do again if you could do it all again?" Yeah,
Fuck
off.
you.
roll it different. I would basically not only laugh at them, but I probably would react to them and laugh at them, and because I think they are funny. Years later, I've watched some of them, and I think they're actually quite funny. Those original ones.
Wow.
And likely,
to be fair, Phil.
They are. Legit, they are.
I know. I laugh at myself all the time. I love doing that now. Going back and watching old me.
Right.
And I should have capitalized on it. I should have made my own, right?
You did. Are we just forgetting about that? Remember those? The fan submission shit from KO Gaming where he had this how you don't play, and everyone hated him. Everyone hated them because they didn't include the shit that makes this how you don't play is funny. Yeah, the cock.
Yeah, it's cringe as all hell. He tried his best.
Yeah, no one likes the shit that's not, it's just like, oh, look, a glitch. No one cares about that.
Why wasn't I lampooning myself doing my own videos?
You tried and failed.
At games. I think people would have saw that I had a sense of
because you were
humor
too
about
insecure,
it, and I wasn't being so serious or butthurt about it. But I didn't do that. I did it literally the opposite. I got angry. I said, "Oh, you're using my content without my permission," and then people got even more egged on to basically do
good point there. The early This How You Don't Plays were funny, but they're also the catalyst for why people hate them now. So okay, make it make sense.
Yeah.
It's interesting hearing you talk about these past experiences because it does feel like there's been a real change of heart.
They do.
For you which is part of the reason why I wanted to speak on
questions with
on a whole number of things. And recently, a big part of your streams has been playing WWE Champions. That is.
Woo! Here we go, boys.
Something that you've been doing on an evening, most evenings, and playing it with the audience there. And well, first of all, when it comes to this game, because this is a gacha game, this is like a Candy Crush style clone. What's the appeal
to you? Phil Blake, I've got neck pain.
Like over the years, I've on and off played various different mobile games. Different times. They're not always like this. Like I used to play WWE
Supercard, Dokkan Battle, Hearthstone,
Supercard back in the day, and that's a different kind of gotcha game, but it's definitely a gotcha game.
I definitely got addicted to that one. I played 80 hours in 2 weeks on that one, Tom. I don't know if you knew that.
I played Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle.
Yeah,
and more.
That also is kind of
Marvel
like a
Future Fight,
DBZ
Dokkan Battle.
So I've played various ones over the years. This particular one, honestly,
Animation Throwdown,
the
Fox
one.
Yeah,
Fox one.
When I started playing it many years ago, and it was something that I casually mentioned in my content on and off, never thinking that it would ever.
Quick reminder, quick pause here.
Quick
reminder that at one point somebody asked him to rate like the mobile games that he was playing, and he rated Champions and 3 others, and
as
Champions
the worst.
He said was the worst.
And this is before people thought he was playing either. So it's not like he's like, oh, detractors are going to get on this one. He said it was the worst and the cheapest of them all because they'll make sure you lose at the higher things and make sure you spend more money. He said that himself.
Anything big, but then as we've talked about, I have a large group of detractors on the internet, and they found an account that happened to match the name on my Twitter account.
That's what you said too.
And they put 2 and 2 together.
That you've used in other mobile games
Phil,
too.
So let's just say it's Phil, and let's
probably
make a big to do about it and track the account and see.
Let's just say it's Phil. You admitted it was you, though. What are we saying here?
Yeah. It was your username. It was your mannerisms. The guy acted like you. The guy talked like you. The guy came across as seemingly being very close to how you behaved yourself on your streams by seeing, because obviously there's a whole lot of evidence at our disposal.
So we're just going back to lying now? Yeah.
You only the Down from the Rafters account, and that's the name that They Call Me DSP was changed to.
Yeah, so what is this? Yeah, hold on. Let's hear that again. I don't want to take anything out of context here.
The name on my Twitter account, and they put 2 and 2 together and said, this is probably Phil, so let's just say it's Phil, and let's make a big to-do about it and track the account and see what he's doing and say what he's spending and do all of this. And, for a normal person, you would never think, man, I'm playing a mobile game. This is going to amount to something, but it just became like their focal point. for like 4+ years. It became their main focus, right? Of how you can hate on Phil, say that he's playing this stupid mobile game and he's spending money on it. And
which he admitted to doing.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
so yeah.
Of course, I'm lying about it like an idiot. And I fessed up to all of this very recently on my DSP Reacts channel. I did a big thing about
So
it.
he's still
talking about it, Tom.
Interesting how he still said like they found a name that could be me, and they were saying they were putting connecting the dots and stuff. But then he says, and that was me actually. Then I shouldn't have lied about it. So he's kind of trying to make it seem like it's not true, and then saying, well, it is true. But hopefully you kind of forget about it. I said it's true. You remember that it wasn't really me. Maybe
I think he's just so used to talking about it like that, like because he's had to maintain the lie for so many years.
Yep.
Like now it's second nature to sort of like do it like that. And he's like, yeah, they found me account and then they tracked me spending, and yeah, I was lying about it.
You know, you can understand that.
Explaining the whole situation. But basically, yeah, it was me all along. I lied to my viewer base about it for many years because I felt this is not my content. You know what I'm saying? Like my content is
talked
video
about
games,
it in your
not
content,
mobile games, but like, you know, console video games and doing live streams. It
was
has
about the
nothing
money,
to
though.
do with that. I never wanted a crossover. I never wanted this to become something public. And it was my detractors who pulled me into that world. And I was like, how can I just not get people talking about it and just say it's not a big deal? Well, I'll lie. And that was the dumbest possible thing I could have done.
Yes.
What happens is when you make one lie, it spins into another lie, and then into another lie, and then there's another little lie.
Trust me, I have a lot of experience with this.
And then next thing you know, you got this
I'm
web
good
of
at lying.
lies, and you can't really lie
about
any
you
further.
back.
Yeah.
You kind of talk yourself
That's how
into
much
a
you
corner.
lied.
And it all came to a head. Just like I said, when this documentary came out a couple weeks ago, it definitively proved that this account was mine. And I was like,
Dude,
you know,
it is mad that it didn't all come to an end when he accidentally filmed his fucking phone with it on.
Yep.
Oh, we get into that, by the way. You just wait, Steve. Just
Okay.
wait. That comes up, Steve.
Okay.
I'm just gonna fess up at this point and tell the truth, and you know, then we can move forward. And
Well,
you know,
that didn't really happen anyway. But okay, go ahead.
You gotta wonder when you fess up about something like that. You've lied to your audience for years and years about something that you would think is innocuous and stupid. But it's still a lie.
Spending $40,000 at the minimum while begging for you to pay my taxes and make sure I don't have to sell my house is not something that doesn't matter, sir. But okay.
Yeah, can we just get this like filled? The point is not that you were playing the game. The point is that you were telling your audience you needed the money to help you like avoid like losing your house or whatever.
Hashtag save the house when you're moving Catton and spending thousands in his mobile game. Also, you didn't fucking fess up to anything because you then claimed you sold the account. When there is evidence, it seems, going by TG Gamebox's latest tweet, that you never actually sold the account. So that's another lie on top of all the lies you built up.
The lie is continuing, And again, who cares where people spend their money? It's people can spend the money wherever they want. The problem with that is when you beg your audience saying you don't have any money and you will have to have all these bad things are going to happen to me if you guys don't help. That's where it becomes the audience's deal when you bring them into it. That's the only problem with any of this, right? If he was saying like, "Hey guys, if you want to support the stream, go ahead. Here's the link. Cool." And then people gave money, and then he went on Champions. No one's saying anything.
Yeah,
but it's the difference is when you pity beg based on that. Saying I don't have any money, and if it's your problem, and here's how you can help, that's what it's a little bit different. Oh, I should do this. Here's how you can help. Here's how you can help. I'll try to do this one. It's really hard. That's what she said. Here's how you can help. It's kind of tough.
For years and years about something that you would think is innocuous and stupid, but it's still a lie you've told for so many years. How are they going to respond, right? Are they going to turn off and be like, well, you're a liar, I don't trust you anymore? Or are they going to hang in there? Lucky for me,
my audience is really stupid.
And my audience, most of them didn't care. They're like, yeah, this is stupid anyway. This wasn't a big deal. Like, we didn't really care that you were playing mobile games. We don't care what you spend your money on. We're just happy that you fessed up because we could tell it was like a weight off your shoulders to be able to do it.
I'm sure this really was said by many fans.
Said that. Yeah.
A lot of fans said this actually.
Now to be able to spin this into streams, you know, I'm doing entire streams based around Philomania. Let's play Champions. Let's do pulls in the stupid game. It's like an awesome positive way.
Yep.
Like we said you should years ago.
To turn it into something now for the future. And honestly, it feels like it's taken a lot of the power away from these trolls who stalked me for years and years, because this was like the one thing they knew they had me on, and I couldn't really cut my way out of it. But now it's kind of a big relief, and I'm happy that I finally fessed up about it.
Yeah,
you didn't.
Yeah, you didn't fess up about it. You lied.
You
but
told
okay.
so much
in
you
your
sold the
streams
account
over the years about
gave no proof.
your private life. You introduced us to your partner, your wife. Now you've got married on stream. You've introduced us to your cat, and you told us all about You've been very open about a lot of your financial issues as well, and that's kind of been told through there. So, out of interest, why, when you've been so open about so many things, why is, as to quote yourself, Phil, a stupid mobile game? Why is that so sacred?
Yeah, it's a good question. I really feel like what has happened with my detractors over the years.
Okay, let's just forget the question altogether. The difference is
basically it's our fault.
I still want to beg for money, Tom, and it's kind of tough if they know it's wasting money on a mobile game, right? That's the difference. That's what we're not going to hear that answer, but that's the actual answer.
Is they'll hyperfixate
and tax
on one
fraud,
thing,
yeah.
right? And
we're
when I can
hyperfixating
basically say this is bullshit, don't listen to them, then they move on to the next thing, and then they move on to the next thing. In this particular case, this was one that like I didn't think was a big deal, but honestly, yeah, let's be honest. If I was telling my audience, oh yeah, by the way, I'm spending money on a mobile game.
Yeah, I couldn't really beg anymore, could I?
I'd be pissy, right?
Yeah.
They'd be like, wow, why are you spending your money on something stupid like that? Something
they would not be pissy just for that. They'd be pissy because you're begging for them relentlessly every day. How many beg tweets do I need to bring up here right now? 5-6 times a day. Yeah, they're back, by the way. Big ups.
You should be spending money on something more important.
People might be pissy.
And now maybe I don't want to watch.
Just give me money, guys. When I beg, just give me. Don't ask. And they wouldn't ask unless you brought it up for them. Yeah.
He's admitting it. If I was honest, they might fuck off and I'd lose their money.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
If I was honest, guys, people would not like that. Okay, you get it, right, Tom?
Maybe I don't want to support you. And you know what? To be honest, now looking back, I should have been more trusting and more honest with my audience and realized that most people weren't going to care, but I was afraid. I was afraid that.
Oh, how would that would have went off, guys? If I don't get $3,000 in the next week, I'll have to sell my house. By the way, I'm playing the new event on WWE Champions this weekend. If you want to check out the stream, check it out. I'll be there on Saturday. But please, I need $3,000 before Monday. Thanks. You get the deal?
Found out that I had this shortcoming, this spending habit on mobile games, that they were going to abandon me essentially. And this is my job. This is not just a hobby for me. This is my living. This is how I support my family. So to not
but
have
you're not
this,
supporting your family when you're blowing all this money and got your gaming.
Yep.
Put on me because they don't like me anymore because I play a mobile game. Was very a scary thing for me. It wasn't the fact that I was playing this particular game or that it was a wrestling game. Never did that ever really factor in. It was just the fact that I
was spending my money frivolously while asking my money to asking my fans to pay for everything possible while pity begging. That's really what we can't say. Yes, I was just lying.
I was afraid. And now that I fessed up to it, I feel so much better, but I regret. I should have just done it right away. I should have just admitted it up front, and then it would have all been nothing.
No.
But that's what happens in life. When you start telling lies.
Unfortunately, it's kind of tough to do a Save the House marathon if we're admitting to spending so much on WWE Champions. Don't you think, Philip? I mean, come on, let's get real.
And now that I fessed up to it, I feel so much better, but I regret. I should have just done it right away. I should have just admitted it up front, and then it would have all been nothing. But that's what happens in life. When you start telling lies, they become a big web. And next thing you know, you kind of talk yourself into the corner, and now what do? And that's the situation I found myself in.
And were there times where you nearly did fess up, where the lie just got too heavy?
Oh.
Brace yourselves.
Oddly Insane says he told his viewers not to watch this. He did?
Nice. Oh, yeah, if you're like you're not into wrestling, it was beforehand, wasn't it? When he said, like, you're not into wrestling, and we talk a lot about wrestling. So
let's make sure as many people see this as possible. Let's go.
Yeah, I would say a couple times actually. There was one time just so you know, I know you probably don't know this. I purposefully left my phone on my desk here and filmed the video with WWE Champions on the screen. And I wanted to see.
Remember that daily wrap?
July
24th or something, that daily wrap. Remember that?
That was on purpose?
Phil was claiming that's on purpose.
No way.
He responded
that thing for like 16 hours.
Didn't he? Didn't he? If memory serves, didn't he take that video down for a while?
No.
Okay.
We left it up because if he took it down, it would have been.
Then
in
it shows it. Yeah.
Was in it.
Yeah. I remember. All right.
He talked about it though, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a stream sort of like, I'm going to address it, and he ended up basically not addressing it.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
I didn't have my account, like 16 hours on this.
Yeah.
I swear, I'm not being gaslit out of that.
And I
shit,
wanted
Phil.
to see how the internet was going to react to it. Now, it didn't have my account, but it showed the game.
Bullshit.
And I did it on purpose. And it basically was kind of what I thought. Like, my detractors went crazy for it, saying this is evidence definitively he's playing the game.
It was.
And then some of my
Which
fans
it
were like,
was.
well, it's evidence he's playing it.
Which it was. Go ahead.
It's not really that big of a deal. And then some people were like, yeah, maybe it is a big deal. So I kind of tried.
So I basically learned nothing. What was that? Was that worth it then on this social experiment of showing people you play WWE Champions? Okay.
It's not really that big of a deal. And then some people were like, yeah, maybe it is a big deal. So I kind of tried testing the waters a few times over the years with things like that.
Right.
But I knew eventually it was going to come to a head. I knew people were going to do enough research. They were
Breathe,
going to
Steve.
find out
Breathe.
stuff about.
So
counts.
remember, all the research that was done was already done before June documentary came out. Like June shared any new information. It was just, condensing of all the information that was already out there. So just because June was big enough, that's what we had to take action here. That's the only difference.
I knew people were going to do enough research. They were going to find out stuff about counts.
Secret
or whatever,
Limited,
how
yeah.
the game works.
Secret Limited already did
always
this
said,
too.
Miranda, eventually, I was going to have to fess up to it. It was
Right.
But
You'd always planned.
Yeah, I never really planned it out definitively until I heard this big documentary was coming out, and I know that this guy June the King does his research. He was going to have evidence.
Yeah, just like
This
Secret
was my
Limited
account. I was
did.
like,
Okay.
This is the time.
Yep.
Let's just do it. Let's get the hell out of the way. Stop with this stupid lie and just move on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good question.
It's
coming up here.
interesting because
Ooh, okay.
there's been so many other documentaries and streams, and as somebody, I've consumed you a lot through your channel, but I've also consumed you a lot through detractor streams as well.
Oh, so you're a detractor there. Dumb fuck.
And in all honesty, and
I know you
this
married and all
the
that,
detail
but-
about your WWE Champions game and your spending on the Champions game, I feel has been out there for a while.
Yes.
But which is why I'm intrigued to know, with so many other people who've covered it and shared details about
They almost
it.
said detractors, but pulled
What
it
is
back.
it about the new documentary that's come out, which is very good? What is it about this new documentary?
It is very good. You look like a complete fuckhead. That was great.
Was the straw that broke the camel's back and made you go, all right, now is the time to come clean.
Here's
I
a
don't
poll
necessarily
question.
think it was the documentary. I think
Do you think he's going to admit it? What's your poll question, June?
No, this is a poll question being answered right here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
there's something else that has happened that has actually put me into a positive light recently. What happened was a group of creators over on Kick. They're called Kino Casino.
Ah,
and they run
yes,
shows
wins.
a couple
Yes,
times a week.
wins.
And it's like internet drama stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, we were both interested in reacting to a documentary from this guy who made the one about me. And we kind of did a crossover event where we did a co-react to that. And what happened was their audience saw me in a positive light for the first time. Most people don't get to see that. They only get exposure to me through my detractors video. So to actually see me on a show or do a co-op event that was done positively, to see me have back and forth with someone that was not someone interrogating me about my private life and kind of shitting on me, but instead having fun, watching some.
All right, just for context here, I got to play this just so we are on the same page here. Yep.
Which I find funny for someone saying they don't want to get involved in drama. At this point, I don't think we will ever get any truth.
For someone DM Phil and tell him we want him on the Kino Casino for just a nice, chill convo.
From him, but I tried.
I'd honestly suck his balls. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'd get out the broomstick. I'd sweep it all for Phil. Fuck him.
I'd be like, everyone making fun of you. They're pretty nuts, huh? Yeah, bud.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I love your gameplay.
Yes, everyone was
Okay, go ahead.
clips, reacting to something. They loved it. And because of that, those guys outright told me, they said, Phil, we don't give a shit if you play mobile games or not. You're a cool guy and we like hanging out with you. That's all that should matter. And I was like, wow, it kind of gave me the confidence again that I haven't had in a very long time to feel like I should be myself and I should be honest and I should try to do different things. And
Interesting interpretation.
Man, we should suck his. PPP said, really, we should suck his balls. Now, Philip is describing the sucking of the balls, and he's taking it to say how they loved it.
I think that kind of gave me the motivation, knowing that this documentary was going to be coming out. It was going to have a lot of eyes on it. This should be the time that I officially fess up. So it was like a combination of someone giving me a fair shake, a fair shot, actually.
A fair shake and a fair shot.
Wanting to do stuff with me and not just be a jerk to me. And then
Okay, I don't want to bring it up here, but we saw the things how they treated Philip before this thing started.
Also, knowing that this big documentary that everyone was going to be watching was coming out was kind of like a twofold thing that came to fruition at the same time.
Obviously, the way, as you said, like which is what a lot of supporters have said, the way you spend your money is your business. But with so much detail out there about the spending, how accurate is some of the things that we've heard in terms of how much you spend? And again, this isn't me going, it's bad, that's good. It's just out of interest. How accurate is some of the reporting based on how much that you have spent on this game?
All I'm going to say is I'm not going to give specifics. Yes, I've spent thousands of dollars on this game. And I think everyone knows that, right? Everyone knows that.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands, actually, Tom.
But the thing is with my detractors, all right, they will always take a little piece of fact and spin it into some ridiculous over-the-top situation. So to give you some examples here, in this game, when there's an event going on, you can score points different ways. You can score points by spending money. You can score points by playing it. You can score points by having certain characters and using them in the events. When my detractors say shit like, oh, Darkside Phil spent $3,000 this weekend, right? It's complete bullshit. It's never been.
All right, well, let's see what TJ Gamebox says about this. I do have their new tweet up here. So this is the tweet TJ Gamebox said. Let's let him finish first, just in case he says some other pertinent things real quick, and then I'll bring up TJ Gamebox's tweet.
True. They're looking at a stat that would be like, if all I did was do loot pulls, this is what it would cost to get this ranking in the event. They don't factor in any of the real way the game works, right? So that's the thing. Have I spent? Yes, I have. Am I embarrassed? Yeah, I am. Especially those early years, I was spending a lot on it. Today, I don't spend nearly as much anymore on it.
I'm
spending more on my streams of the game on this new account that I created for streaming than I'm spending on my private account.
Right, definitely.
But yeah, they always lie to basically make it the most big, over-dramatic situation.
Welcome back, Steve.
And you must be disproved.
Yeah. So he's talking about how TJ Gamebox, he didn't say TJ Gamebox, but he said the guy that tracks my numbers is wrong, and here's why. But we're getting to the end of that here.
Anyone who knows the game can look at it and say, yeah, he could easily have had this character and he got all these bonus points and he did this. There's no way that you can prove that he spent thousands of dollars this weekend. It's ludicrous what people are saying, but they don't care. You know, these detractors, they're only making content for their audience that wants to consume drama. So they know if they say the over-the-top exaggeration.
Okay, so I think that's enough his explaining it. So here's TJ Gamebox's tweet here that goes through. Okay, time to address it again. This is how I calculate his spending with his recent spending, $506. I do every task possible, waiting a lot of time to get this done. I see if Phil spent on the game by seeing his top 100. Down for the Rafters was never sold because Scopely didn't strike it down, nor was that account posted on any site. Yes, I checked all the sites and Discord's asking around. I take his score and minus my score from it. If there are any outliers, I post that. 360,000 points because I don't get a 6SB Tonga Loa, whatever. I take that total and find out how much a coin costs per contest point. I take that and find out how many coins per pack per dollar. Lately, they've included a one-time pack that gets you extra points and extra coins. I usually skim $50 off the total and make it as minimum as possible. I take the total and post it. If you would like to talk about this ever, this is the DSP, you know where to reach out to. You probably need the praise for your gambling addiction anyway. And there we go.
So yeah, on record, he always gives the minimum.
Yes,
amount.
Always, every time. I trust TJ's metrics. TJ's always tried to explain. Oh, it's a very simple way to work out. And every time TJ explains, I'm like, I'm so confused. I'm a dumb bastard. Yes. But TJ is always working it down bit by bit, and it seems like it makes sense in my family. Other people agree with him as well. Other smarter people than me seem to say, this math makes sense to me as well. And he's always been the bare minimum. He has always, every point in time, given the bare minimum possible amount of spending that Phil has done in this game over the course of the weekend, whatever these events, because that is the safest thing to do. Sometimes you can go maximum as well, depending on whether if you got the character or not. And but yeah, for Phil to just say that TJ doesn't know what he's talking about, Phil went into TJ's house essentially because TJ was made his own business and joined WWE Champions of his own volition when who came along to his own Discord and his own faction, but they call me DSP. TJ was made it his own damn business, not giving a shit, and then Phil invaded his house and fucking fucked things up for everyone in that faction because the Comedy DSP has been harassed and stopped by all the Kiwi farmers and all that shit. And if I can, it just went out of control. So I trust TJ's understanding of the game. For Phil to claim that TJ doesn't understand what he's talking about when it comes to the WWE Champions, I think that is quite a ridiculously outlandish statement to make. And really, TJ is essentially inviting Phil to talk more about it so he can explain why he has the numbers he has.
Yeah, and another thing I'd like to say is we, as well, I think not everyone, of course, I'm not to put everyone in the same group, but the truth is always better than fiction in the DSP world, right? So like, I would never. I've tried, just like with Dead Sea Scrolls, I make sure it's DSP because if it's not, I'm not sure that it's not as funny, right? Oh, that's not really him. I don't care. I find out it's him because that's the truth of like, oh my God, it's really that. And similar to TJ Gamebox, he could say Phil spent $1 million, but is that interesting if he just makes up huge numbers like that? No. The truth is what makes this interesting at all, is the truth of the matter. So we don't want those over-the-top numbers. I don't. I want the truth of the numbers because that's what makes it interesting. You know what I mean? It's just then you're making fan fictions. Just make up whatever the fuck you want. Oh, well, before Panda Lee, there was another girl. I found her email, and Philip tried to get her with her, too. That's just fan fiction. I don't want that. You know, no one wants fan fiction in this shit. You know? But all right, let's go.
The people will just believe it, and they make money doing it. So, yeah. You know,
TJ Gamebox get real rich off the Twitter Prime or whatever. Twitter Premium or whatever. Yeah, TJ Gamebox is getting his mansions because of that. Big ups, TJ Gamebox. I wish he was, but he's not, unfortunately.
I do spend money, but you know, it's nothing like what these people have reported. They're out of their minds with some of the ridiculous things they're saying. It doesn't even factually make sense how I could be having that many funds to be spending.
You did it kind of though, because people take his tips and they can correlate with the figures that TJ finds out. And like, anytime TJ posts an update, it's like you got somebody like who's like, you know, GG Anno or whatever, Otter. Some people, sometimes Otter and sometimes other people, they say that makes sense going by the tips you received over this course of time because it seems to always be quite close.
And then you knock off the Washington sales tax.
Yep. It always works. Okay. And actually, what Keemstar said back in the day, that is why he has such a hate mob on him, because people don't like liars. People hate when you lie. And that's what we're here. That's what caused all this. Because it all starts with so many fucking lies. Yeah. It just
believes lies.
You did do a stream where you did sort of own up to a lot of the lies that you'd made about the game. And I said, I've watched you for a long time, and I've watched those streams where people have said, people have asked you about a username or a name in the game, and you've gaslit an entire room. What do you say to people who have supported for so long, knowing that in that moment, as you were carrying the weight of this lie, you were gaslighting a lot of people about what you were doing with WWE Champions because you were ashamed to show it?
Next week we're getting a what is gaslighting being submitted to the React channel.
Oh my God.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Yeah,
thank you
all
so
I can say,
much.
I've already said it in my own content. But,
yeah, I've already said it. Go check that out.
All I can say to the audience is, you know, I'm sorry. It was a huge mistake. I absolutely shouldn't have done it. It's something that is a shortcoming of mine.
You're still doing it.
You know, with these people on my ass all the time.
Detractors. Yeah, I lied because of them.
Apology, then.
Nope, not an apology. I have all this hate mob.
At first, this is just something that's not a big deal, and
you're the one that chose to lie.
Something awful that I never intended. Once I told the one lie, it's like, how do you get to out of the next one? It just it steamrolls, and
it's still steamrolling.
This is the first time in my life where it's been like that bad.
Moving the goalposts.
Like
I know we got King Jad. If you got to leave, let us know. I know you got to go to bingo. We'll
no. I mean, it's okay. Hey, it's more speed up just for bingo, so don't mind. We'll keep going.
Okay.
Wife tell a few little white lies here or there. My cat. I told everyone I didn't have a pet for a few months, and then I revealed him on stream. That's a little white lie. That's not a big deal. But this was one that just kept going on and on and on. And
during that period, you raised money to go to see your dying parents, and also had like a big reveal if you reached 2,000.
Yes.
So but you know, if Phil tried to retcon that, Steve, by the way, because the story's changed. At first, he needed somebody to look after the cat. But you don't know this. Phil,
I knew that.
Years ago, Phil claimed, when we went to see my parents, somebody had to kind of house sit and look after the cat. Recently, Phil has said they didn't have the cat until after they were married.
Oh, so yeah.
So the story keeps changing, so we don't know what version of the truth anymore. Was somebody house sitting to look after Jasper before the wedding or not?
Who knows what the fuck is going on
all
now?
I can say is, you know, I'm sorry for it. I'm going to do better. I think I've shown now in the last couple of months.
Detractors exist.
That I'm trying to do better. You know, I'm human. I'm fallible. I may still make mistakes in the future, but I swear I'm going to commit to try to be a better person.
Look at Tom. Look at Tom. Look at Tom's face.
That is like one of the biggest acted out faces I've ever seen. That's a really good. Yeah.
Was.
I don't believe a word you're fucking saying, pal. But go on.
So this is how Adam felt.
Do people really buy this shit? That's the face.
This bitch for real?
How stupid is your audience, actually? All right.
And sadly, if there are people who have heard this coming out that, oh, wait, Phil lied about a mobile game for all these years and he gaslit his audience. I'm sorry. And if you have to move on, I will miss you because I love my audience.
That's why I lied to him for 7 years. I'd love lying to my audience, actually.
Very core audience of people who come by every day. We love hanging out. It's a more personable audience than say the chat's going like this and I can't read it. No, I'm talking with people all day. We're having conversations and everything.
Shit.
I beg about 100 times a stream, Tom. I can really talk to my audience. It's really interesting.
And I know that there's some people that are hurt that I've been lying to them for years, and it sucks. It's just like, how do you do it after you've done it for so long? How do you get out of it? You don't get out of it. You fess up and you move on, and if people can't forgive you for it, you live up to that, right? And that's the best thing you can do in the situation.
Yeah, you could always just not lie. That is an option. Similar how you don't have to play mobile games.
I'm keen to move on to other things, you'll be pleased to know. But I did want to mention one more thing about it, and then
you'll be pleased to know. What the
There's one more thing, though.
I'm keen to move on to other things, you'll be pleased to know. But I did want to mention one more thing about it, and then I want to talk about the recent turnaround in events for yourself and things coming forward and all that good stuff. And we've still got a third match to do, Phil, for goodness sake. Honestly, I mean, you haven't shut up about WWE Champions, honestly. People have thrown around the word addiction when it comes to you and WWE Champions.
Yes.
Were you addicted?
I was addicted, actually worse, to the previous mobile games I was playing. Supercard and Dokkan Battle. I was actually spending a ton on those games at one point.
Right.
It becomes this dopamine hit, right? When you want to pull and you want to see if you get the new character or you can participate in the new event, and it just go.
By the way, this is a very easy thing addicts do, and I've done myself, is I used to be way worse than I am now. I'm not that bad now. Oh, I could have a few beers now. It's no big deal. Yep. You always was worse back in the day. Oh, I'm not that bad now. It's nothing. Come on. 2 or 3 beers? It's nothing, man. It's nothing. I used to do I used to do handles. I'm fine now.
With this game, it actually hasn't been as bad. I spent a lot at first, but basically after I went through this big financial problem that I had, I couldn't do it as much anymore, and I did scale back, and that's kind of where the lie is getting worse.
Yep, and where'd the money go? To bills, dumb fuck. Basic bills.
To big bills. Bill Goldberg.
Just messed up at that point. But no, you're right. Is it addiction? It's
How are you right? He's asking, are you addicted? Yeah, you're right. I asked a question. I can't be right or wrong here. It's a question, sir. What? Hey, are you addicted? You know what? You're right. Huh?
Like you just want to keep going. I think they call it the sunken cost fallacy, where you spend so much on something that you feel like it's better to just keep going and spend more than just because you think you're eventually going to get there. You're going to get something out of it, right? That's why with my streams of this game that I'm doing now, I am trying to 100% express that to my audience. This is dangerous. This is not something that you should be doing and spending tons of money on. There was a night the other night. Now, my audience was amazing. I raised a ton of money on this stream. So they said, will you do some polls? Of course. I just raised a ton of money. That's kind of goes hand in hand. Let me do some for you guys. And we did one mega poll. And I got like one good thing. And they're like, well, will you do another one? I said, guys, I don't think it's a good idea. I'll tell you right now. Because I know we're going to save this money for the other account. You can't stop, right? You just keep going. And they said, just do one more. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do one more.
Correct.
And that is it. And I'm going to show you guys why you don't do this. I had raised hundreds of dollars on the stream. So, I'm paying for it with the stream. I do the second poll. We get nothing. Right? It's all duplicates. I'm like, now you guys see. You have it in definitive video form. Don't do this to yourself. Don't go down the road that I've gone down. Don't get addicted to this shit because you will just keep going and going. And next thing you know, you're screwed.
You're you go bankrupt.
That date is? Yeah. That date, 2,453 consecutive login days. Guess when that was, everybody?
I believe it's very close to when Catherine moved in. January 31st.
January 31st, 2018.
2018. And Catherine moved in, I think, 2 weeks after that. It's very close to when she moved in. By the way, Philip does have now a turtle on his team. Philip has, not on his team, excuse me, in his top-rated players, he officially does have a Ninja Turtle. So that's pretty hype for him.
Cowabunga, dude.
There we go.
I really want Tom to ask him, like, so when you finish that stream, did you go and pull?
Yeah.
You know, where'd your money go? Where'd your credit go? Because you're stupid.
Yeah.
Did you rack it all up because you're a dummy? You know? So I'm hoping that through me expressing this stuff now in the current day with my content, I can take bad experiences that I had in the past and turn them into positive ones and teaching moments for others.
Tom's not buying this
It's
shit,
interesting
man.
because it's striking a balance, because I hear what you're saying about it's almost like you're what you're saying is, hey, look, you know, don't sink all your money into this. It's a ludicrous game, but at the same time, the thumbnails will be get in a 6-star wrestler on the first go. So you can see where there may be, by bringing this thing that was very much private, that you very much confessed to and you very much opened up about, which is commendable, bringing it to the fore, you can see where there might be the risk of a of the message not quite getting the message that you want to send, not quite landing.
Fair enough. And you know, and that's part of the YouTube game. You got to do the catchy thumbnail. You got to do the
who gives a shit about people's well-being? You got to do the YouTube game. Come on.
catchy title.
Yeah.
I would hope that the people who are watching it
Fuck their well-being.
watching more than 5 seconds of it. But then again, you don't know, because that's the YouTube game too. You get people who see the clickbait, they click, oh, okay, then they're
But
out
I
of it,
need
right?
those mentally ill people to give me money.
Yes, I can't get them out of there, Tom, actually. I really rely on the socially inept and lonely people to get money, so I can't really not do that, actually. They're kind of dumb, as you know.
But yeah, no, that is a good message. I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm going to be sure moving forward as I'm playing this game that I'm emphasizing this with
He
the
did do
audience
that, by
more,
the
that
way.
They know that this is not
Last night for the first
the road
time.
to go down with your life, with your money. This is something that I now have learned from and I've improved on, and other people should learn from my mistakes. Fair enough. I
don't
agree
know.
with you.
No, I just don't know whether it's like over here we've got bookmakers or bookies or gambling houses in the UK where they're all sponsored. That's
where Steve goes. By the way,
messages on there by
That's where
anti-gambling
we
charities.
Don't gamble.
I know.
And such that'll say like when
I'm trying to start a new meme. I'm tired of being old. I'm trying to start new memes.
whenever there is a bookies in the UK, there'll be somewhere within the bookies that will say when the fun stops, stop. And it's kind of a joint message to like come in and have some fun, but also, you know, be gamble aware. That's the company. Gamble aware.
Gamble aware. Yeah.
My advice, and it's your world, it's your stream. You've been doing it for 16 years, and I'm just here having a chat with you in my spare room. So whatever. But I'm nobody. But what I'd say is. For all
he's
that
not
my
got a
opinions
cat
were,
tree in the background.
if you are
Yeah, it's a shitty setup. Look at this dude. Some of his parents' basement.
looking to go that way, and I think it's a really commendable way to go that way. Have some links, some contacts for people who are maybe struggling, because you will find that there'll be people who also go through a similar thing to you, where there is a casual or a very aggressive addiction to a game like this, and it allows them the opportunity of somewhere where they can go to get support.
Yep.
It's good advice. That's
But
great
Phil's
advice. I
never
will
dealt
look
with
into that for
addictions,
sure.
though.
Thank you.
Huh?
Now, obviously,
Phil's
I've followed you for
conquered his
ages
addictions.
through numerous streams and stuff, and recently there has been a real change. There seems to be a resurgence, as we've called it.
Oh, hear that? Hear I said that?
Change. There seems to be a resurgence, as we've called it, and you're leaning into a lot more of these things that before you would have rallied against or completely denied.
Damn!
Inviting detractors.
This is way better than I thought. Way better. Holy shit!
Yeah,
documentary makers on your streams.
It's a slow start, but I got there.
The game that
that first half an hour was scary, but now we're here.
was a secret for so long.
We got to end soon,
out of the
though.
way, and now we're going to go over this shit.
Yeah, fuck
A
wrestling.
secret for so long. Shout out to Secret Limited.
Yeah.
Why now?
Honestly, it's like I'd already mentioned about
Wait,
playing the game that was a secret for so long. What has caused this change in mentality, and why now?
Honestly, it's like I'd already mentioned about these guys from Kino Casino
Kino.
giving me a shot.
Yeah.
Someone actually treated me with kindness for the first time in like a decade.
Treated me with kindness. I just want to play this one more time. I really do apologize. This is
Maybe
kindness.
Why to so long we've been kind to you?
Drama at this point, I don't think we will ever get any truth.
Wait, someone DM Phil and Tom. We want him on the Kino Casino for just a nice, chill convo.
From him, but I
I'd
tried.
honestly suck his balls. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'd get out the broomstick. I'd sweep it all for Phil. Fuck him.
Fuck 'em.
No wonder
And just
Phil
giving
feels
me
like
an
he
honest
likes him a
shake
lot.
to, let's have a conversation.
Gobble.
Let's hang out. Let's commentate over some videos. Let's do a co-react, right? It let people see me in a positive light. And I'm like,
Yes,
yeah, you know,
very
you understand
positive.
that stuff I actually wanted to do. I've wanted to do interviews. I've wanted to do collabs. I can't do them because when I try to do them, my detractors go out there and harass people. I mean, you know yourself right now. You said I was going to be on the show and they reach out. Oh my God, you're going to have that piece of shit on the show, blah, blah, blah. That's how it is for me. So I don't get the opportunities that other people get because I have this black cloud of people who are just stalking me at every moment. But the Kino Casino guys have been through it too. They've had their own detractors. They've kind of been through their own redemption arcs.
But there's reasons for that.
Shot.
Yeah, it's a little different.
And man, I mean, look at the difference now. You got people who come by and like the content they want.
They turned it around on their own. They didn't need anyone to pretend like them. You know what I'm saying?
Teamy,
all right.
Reach out to people who previously I had issues with. I mean, shit, I had like 2-3 years of a feud with Keemstar. And I just had him on my show, and we had the most civil, most entertaining conversation. Yeah. People loved it.
Horrible.
And that's the kind of stuff I want to do moving forward.
Yeah.
I want to build bridges. I want to have
Why
fun.
did you mention the one with Craig, Phil?
The opportunity to
Did you build a bridge with Craig when you rage quit that interview?
Talk to people, hang out, do that I've never been able to do before. I mean, I love video games. Don't get me wrong. I want to play them as long as I can. You know, we're both in our 40s.
Over the hill.
Boy gets
video games. Don't get me wrong. I want to play them as long as I can. You know, we're both in our 40s. You start to get a little slower, hand-eye coordination. You know, you get a little carpal tunnel in my hand. I know I'm not going to be a gamer my whole life. This is the kind of stuff that I want to branch out into doing. And this was like
you can wait till that's getting older.
All it took.
I can actually. I'm still in my prime.
Simply took was an act of kindness towards me. Someone giving me a chance.
An act of kindness towards me.
An act of kindness.
This is like getting into the sad part, right? Because he legitimately thinks it was an act of kindness now. I mean, legitimately.
To show who I really am. And now this stuff has been turning around in the last couple of months. And, you know, I'm really appreciative.
You're going to cry.
So what was it within that interview
sounds like he's going.
that was the starter cap for you? Or was it just the fact that it was an interview?
It was the fact that in the interview, it wasn't a shooting session. It wasn't me standing there and feeling like I'm in a firing line.
Sir, do I need to remind you the things they did on that interview? Like getting your expert opinion on Ethan Ralph jerking off, Ethan Ralph calling his wife a horse. Those were not things in a firing line? Okay.
Okay, so why
not towards him
here? What's bad about
asking you about the gin addiction, mentioning gin every chance they get? That's all fine. Okay.
It's here. Like you and I right now, we're having a completely civil conversation, and it's really good, right? This has been a great interview. People wouldn't give me this chance previously. It would be, we want you on so we can just talk shit about you for 2 straight hours, right? And it's like, I don't see what the meaning of that is, right? And these guys had me on, and yes, we talked a little bit about the drama stuff, but then we were watching clips together, laughing. And
yeah, they were pretty specific clips, weren't they?
just given that chance to shine and show my personality through worked.
Yep.
And people were like, oh shit, Phil's not the devil? No. Like, you could have come by my stream and checked it out, but most people, their only exposure to me is my detractors content. They don't see the real stream or the real me, so they don't get to see the entertainment value there. They just believe.
And why do you think that is, Phil?
Said for 10 years, and that's sad, you know. And that's really them giving me that shot in that appearance on their show. That led into us doing the co-op commentary. That led into us playing the game together. And then I did an interview with the guy who runs Kiwi Farms, a website that infamously has been posting up awful things about me and my family members. So it just keeps rolling. It's like, wow, you know, what a difference.
How did that one
go?
Yeah, was that a positive or what?
Person took
Bye-bye, Daddy.
Yeah, they actually pressured me into banning a pedophile that I've known about for 7 years in my community. It was very positive.
The kindness.
I'm sad for 2 reasons, though. Yeah, I'm sort of sad, though.
I hate doing it, but, you know.
I question that decision, actually.
Right.
How it could change things.
He's a nice guy in my chat.
Do you feel that change happening now?
I do, but the thing is, as I've said many times in life, it's fleeting. Like this is how my life has been since I've been on YouTube. It's kind of like there's a high, and then it peaks, and then there's a low, and then there's a high, and then there's a low.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm kind of in the middle. Like I had a high like a month ago, and then those guys actually went on vacation, and now I'm strong. I'm trying to do content on my own. I've had a couple of weeks where I haven't really had many interviews or anything going on, and then things slow down. But ultimately, what I'm hoping is that things will pick up. I actually have people who are very interested in coming on my show for interviews over October. I'm going to be doing more stuff with those guys in the future once they come back from their break. and then things will pick up again. And that's the cool thing about the nature of the business is depending on what's going on and who you're hanging out with. Doesn't always have to be high all the time.
You back it? You back it?
Crazy when it started to happen.
He's in the
at
DM.
first I didn't
streaming.
You know, he has so many chain. You guys back yet? How's it going? Hey, hope you're doing well. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going?
You know, you kind of feel like you're being set up or something, right? Like
it's almost over, guys. We're almost done.
Like in the movie Carrie, where they're going to put you on stage and then they're going to dump the pig's blood on your head because you've been the whipping boy of the internet for 10 years. Maybe these guys are just messing with you. But no, that's not happened. You know, it's actually been an amazing positive experience. And at first it's kind of like, whoa, people like me again? People are actually coming by and watching and supporting. Like, whoa, it feels so weird. I've been in this isolated bubble of just my hardcore fans for like 5+ years. And
yeah, that's a good point, TG. Triple P tweeted the picture of Carrie with the pig's blood, right? Remember that?
Yeah, during the King documentary.
Yep.
To see some popularity come from outside of the place. People are actually finding my channels on YouTube again through YouTube search. They weren't even able to do that. You would type in Dark Side Phil or DSP Gaming, and all you would see is 10 detractor videos. Now you can actually type that in, and my channel comes up.
I'm so fucking sorry we do our job better than you do.
Are they not watching the streams anymore? Because they're not getting the view bump they did once, but all right.
So, holy shit. So I have a chance to be exposed again to people who might be interested.
I'm watching
That's a really
the
awesome
show,
thing.
King
It's
Daddy's
surreal,
not on yet.
But I have to get used to that now. You know, it's been a long time. I've been kind of like in this, just like conditioned to think that I'm always going to be stuck where I am, and the possibility that I could actually change or grow now is actually a new thing that I kind of have to get adjusted to.
So obviously we've mentioned interviews and such like that. What else is something that you'd like to be doing on the YouTube space with what looks like a resurgence continuing onwards?
For me,
he had equipment fail from that.
Continuing onwards.
Kind of heard him to say that one.
For me, I have not just wanted to be the one-trick pony. Like I said, when I play games, I play a lot of games, right?
Just answer the question, please.
I wanted to be someone who can like reach out and have a meaningful conversation with someone from any walk of life. I think that'd be awesome. Just have people from all over the place on the show, just talk about stuff, whether it's gaming or whether it's not, just find out common connection. I've always wanted to do that, but people wouldn't touch me with a 10-foot pole because of the negativity and the detractors. So hopefully now with this change, I'll be able to branch out and do more stuff like that. I don't just want to do the gaming forever. And I feel like now that I have new eyes on me, I'm able to do that. You know, I'm clipping my content.
He asked what you want to do, and he says, I want to branch out. Great answer. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'm doing different stuff that I never did before, and it's working. So that's the key. It's not just being the gamer anymore, but being more of a personality and someone who gets into issues and interviews people. I think that's the future for me, at least at this point.
Okay, what do you want to do? I want to break out.
Word detracted is a really popular one in the Dark Side Phil lexicon, and I think that for every time that I've seen content, detractors have been mentioned. Do you think with this new mindset that you've got, is there some validity to some of the negative opinion that has come from detractors? And if so, what would you like to do or say towards them to try and turn that around?
Well, here's the thing. Because there's different people out there, and when I say detractors, I want to make this clear. This is not a person who just like wants to laugh at me or make fun of me at a meme or something. That's a normal person. I think everyone has done that, right? Everyone's seen the incident, everyone's seen a Dark Side Phil meme and laughed at me and made fun of me. I don't care about that. When I say detractor, I mean these people who are so hyper focused on doing every little thing they can to make me look bad so they can benefit. You know, like I said, it just came out recently. One of my detractors was making between $5,000 and $6,000.
Wow, we can't let Duty go, can we?
Negative videos about me on YouTube. That's insane. This guy's making a full-time living out of it. And that's just nuts because when you look at his content, it's all bullshit. It's like he literally lies. In one video, he claims, I freaking incited violence against the CEO of a company. I literally never did that. In the clip, I didn't even do it, but he titled it that way. So everyone
it's the internet.
And the guy
it's the clickbait that you said you did on WWE Champions, you know? The clickbait shit you were talking about earlier? Yeah, that.
A ton of money on the video. So those are detractors, all right? And the truth is, I don't think those people are ever going to go away. I think now they've realized that DSP is the gravy train for them. But the difference now is
here's the difference.
Be able to have the opportunity to have a voice to speak out against it. I've actually gone up against some of these guys in my content and said, here's exactly how they're lying. This shirt, they tried to say that I stole this logo from someone.
Yeah, which you did technically, but
just ripped it. No, I have the
we
evidence
didn't try to say that.
Someone designed it for me. I paid for the right.
The guy said that, not us, but go ahead.
And then Phil's evidence of the monk was showing how he just changed a big P The person
Yes.
that's cinema design
But they
basically
lie.
has a different P at the start.
They'll literally make shit up to
Transformative.
try to get clickbait, and that's the kind of stuff now. Because I have a voice, I can fight. Before I would just say
You always
it.
had you always had a voice, and you always fought it. It's just a choice of whether people believe it or not, and no one still does. So nothing has changed in that front. You always fought. He always fought that shit endlessly.
and no one would pay attention. But now people actually pay attention, and I think that's going to be the difference moving forward.
Okay.
But I'm okay with people making fun of me and laughing at myself. That's part of the fun of everything. And I don't think those people are detractors at all. I think
Okay,
people
great.
spin it
We're
down and
not
say,
then.
Phil just thinks everyone who hates him is a detractor. No. It's these
When
crazy
did that change?
obsessive people
Yeah,
who
when?
are literally trying to make a living on my back, lying about me. Those are the detractors
Okay.
that I don't think will go away. But at least now I have the ability
Yep.
to clap back.
We don't lie here.
I think that's been a big change that I've seen in the way that you've approached things lately. Is you have laughed at yourself a lot more than I ever remember you doing.
Yeah.
Because I think a big part of building that negative was the fact that you didn't, and you took yourself very staunchly and very seriously, and it was
Right.
and that probably feeds into
Right.
that. And what I've seen is somebody who is more often than not, as you say, clapping back and laughing back at yourself and at others as well. And I think that's a big part of it. We're going to do a big plug for what you're doing before we get to the end. But Phil, we haven't done your third match yet.
All right, don't care
We've
about
still
third
got
match.
guesses, guys. Third match
Okay,
guesses.
final match, fast as possible. Mankind versus Undertaker. Throw off the Hell in a Cell. Go ahead,
Punk
Steve.
Cena.
Okay.
Both wrong, but I
Not
think
bad,
if we're going to
mate.
hit 27, LT gets a point, but he's wrong, if that makes sense. You'll see why.
It's closer. Yeah, closer.
So to bring it back to the wrestling, to tie a knot,
I thought
tie
we
a
get
bow in
something
this
from,
thing.
like, the
so we've had
Ruthless
so far
Aggression
three matches. We've had Hulk Hogan
era.
and Warrior at WrestleMania 6. We had the Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. What would you like the third and final match to be, Phil?
All right, this one will probably be shocking to a lot of people. This is just pure fun, and this is one that I was thinking hard. What would I want my final match to be? I'm gonna go. With
This is what me
TLC.
and my friend John Rambo Jello match. In,
Armageddon Hell in a Cell match from 2000, the 6-man Hell in a Cell, where all
God,
the
that
big
was
guys. At the time
terrible.
matched. You had the Rocket, Stone Cold Steve
that
Austin. You had
was a
Rikishi, who
terrible
had just
match.
had his
I
giant
know.
heel turn. The bad man who had tried to kick Austin with the car and stuff like that. He tried to pin
It's
him on the Rock.
exciting,
You had
but
the
it wasn't a
American
great
Badass version of
match.
Undertaker, which I love the American Badass Undertaker. I hated when he had the Limp Bizkit theme. I was glad when they finally changed it. And
Keep on trolling, baby.
that was hype. That entrance. I remember that.
To be fair, yeah, when he had the Cave Rock, Metallica,
Yeah, that was
Badass,
hype. I
think
liked
was
it.
a
all
bit
of this
better.
stuff. So it's like everyone big in WWF at the time in this match. And it's like a 40-minute match, and it's just wild. It's like everything at that time you wanted from a high-profile pay-per-view match. You've got good wrestling in the ring, but then you've got brawls breaking out. You've got weapons being used. You got guys who are getting cheese grated against the fence back and forth. You got people blading. Then Vince comes out. He's trying to interfere in the match. Then you got McFoley coming out. He attacks them. Then there's a
camera.
truck bed that's there. For no reason. You wonder why the truck bed is there. Not gonna use it later, right?
Well, the storyline version was that they were going to use it to tear the cell down.
Right, because they were afraid that they were going to hurt all the guys who were like assets for the company, and they were all going to get hurt, and Vince didn't want that. Yeah, so because Vince has never got his guys into risky situations before.
Yes, we've also the documentary about it. Yes.
Right.
No,
anyway,
Philip doesn't care about the documentary. Yeah, Philip doesn't care about the documentary, Tom. No.
Gets ripped off the cell. They're fighting on the outside. They're climbing the cell. There's the spot where Undertaker choke slams Rikishi onto the truck bed. It's amazing at that time. You know, the only other spot you'd seen like that was McFoley going off the cell, and to see someone else attempt it, and it's Rikishi.
Oh, he
who's
mentioned
this
it.
guy. You're marking out.
All
for
this
that.
kind of thought it was a
I
weird
just remember
spot.
it was so wild. The only
Take it just
thing-
Yeah, he
Does
just
it then
pushed.
flops?
Yeah.
You get to push and then just take a flop. Says, okay, I'm going to just chill out his riff now for the rest of the match. I'm knackered.
The ending sucked because the
I
camera
wanna
didn't
breathe
really
up.
catch it. Like
Oh,
they said, you know,
God.
one guy does the finisher, the next guy does the finisher, the next guy does the finisher, and they said, "Oh, and Kurt pinned him." What? You don't even see it. They cut it real fast. So what happened was Kurt had been hit with a finisher, but he was on the mat. He crawled across, he put his arm across the rock, and wins.
Faster,
you don't really
faster,
get that
faster.
feeling of like, oh, he did. Like if the camera had been there, some crawled slowly, and they would have created it. That was everything. Why? Cars and stuff. This is why. That was that era. That was the people like action era. See everything going to this one giant match. It's still wrestling. I still think about the crazy spots of that match at that time. I was so excited for pro wrestling.
I think of all the people to take the bump off the top of the cell, Rikishi was the last person I expected to do it.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
just so whoa.
It was a
no
brutal
way.
bump, to be
I
fair.
thought
It was a
Rikishi
good
was gonna
spot.
toss Taker off the cell, and then it was the other way around. Holy crap!
And we've never seen a
When do you think Taker's
six-man
going off
Hell in
that
a
cell?
Cell since.
Right? Yeah. No.
It's
right.
appeared in the video games. Like you can play Armageddon Hell in a Cell. It's been the case for ages now, but they've never actually done another one for some reason.
Right.
Live it, quite frankly. Live
It
it.
was a different time.
Well, it was a different time, and this has been a time.
I think
And wanna
Elimination
just,
Chamber
thank you
might
very,
count.
thank you very much for being so open. And you know, I
Different
think
kind of matches,
talked a lot
yeah.
about wrestling, but
Yeah,
there was also a lot in there that I felt, you know, that I wanted to push you on, and I wanted to press you on, and I genuinely appreciate that you gave me the room to do that. So thank you.
No problem. And, you know,
I mean,
this
still
is
that
a
bit
big
here as well.
part
I
of
think there's a funny bit coming up, I think, near the end.
Right.
When
Oh,
Tom's signing off.
Poll, yeah, poll. Are we
There's
going
only
to
1
get
minute
another
left.
joke? Are we going to get a brief
fadeaway joke?
at the end?
All right, I'm not doing the poll because we
Yeah,
got to get out of here. Are we going to get
Yeah,
a fadeaway
yeah.
joke? Yes or
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
1 for yes, 2 for
Yes.
no. I'll say yes. I say yes, we have
Yes.
one ready. Come on, here we go. Come on. Just say yes or no, by the way. No numbers. I'm sorry I did that. Confuses things. Well, now I don't know what 1 is. All right, let's go.
trying to be more open, trying to do new kinds of content, and stop with the bullshit. I mean, that's really what it is. Just stop with all this bullshit from these years. I just want to have fun with my audience moving forward. Enough with all this nonsense that these people have been bringing up. So I'm happy to do it. It was a great conversation. I really enjoyed the time.
And if people want to find out more about you, where can we send them?
All right. So my main YouTube channel is
How many things do we mention here is the question now. Do we say the Patreon? Patreon, yes or no?
No.
Okay.
We got main channel, React,
Throwback. Yeah. Those three plus Twitter. And do we get Patreon? Yeah. That's the question. I'm not sure.
One hand or two hands. Don't just second hand count the shout outs.
Here we go.
About you, where can we send them?
All right. So my main YouTube channel is DSP Gaming. And this channel is where I broadcast pretty much almost every day, 6 days a week. That's where I do my level 1 podcast. That's where I do my gameplay streams. I do have a React channel called DSP Reacts, where once a week I do a clip show called DSP versus the Internet. I just react to random clips from the internet that people submit. And I have a throwback channel that's called DSP Throwback. That's where I'm reacting to my ancient content from like 10, 15 years ago for a fun stream that I do every Sunday night. So I have 3 channels. You can check them all out. DSP Gaming is the one you're going to get the most content on. And by the way, merch is coming. Merch is on the way. I'm actually in the process of having this merch store set up to start selling Philomania and other stuff coming shortly. So, stay tuned to DSP Gaming for that. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at they call me DSP.
And you never know, if you're there early enough, you might catch Phil having a wank. Phil
is... Told you guys.
Early enough, you might catch Phil having a wank. Phil is...
I'm sorry. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. All right, my friends, that was it. We got to get King Jad in here. I will read the super chats, but big up King Jad for joining us. I know you got to do bingo. Thanks for joining us.
I want to say big ups very quickly as well. So big ups very quickly. So that's what I said earlier on. I don't know about you, Alt, but I got a Secret Limited hooked me up with this video earlier on, and so I got to watch it earlier on. Not sure if you got hooked up with him as well. You know what I mean? But big ups to them. For dropping that us. So they managed to get a video for us. I got to watch it earlier on. Also got to watch ourselves here as well. You know what I mean? So big ups to the person. He also his video as well. His documentary is not documentary, but his video on WWE Champions as well led to a whole lot of attention on Phil as well. So that's what I say. A quick big ups to Secret Limited for giving this, making this possible in the first place. I'd say.
Yep, definitely.
One more
we need it.
I've tried to encourage him. I was like, this was been an interesting year, hasn't it? He's like, it has been, but I'm enjoying my peace and quiet.
I know, that's what we need. This year, if they do top 10 this year, whoo, mama. We still got how many months left? But anyway, all right, King Jad, you're a legend. Thanks for joining us late notice. You're a legend. Thanks for joining, my friend.
Thanks.
All right, let's get to super chat time here, and then we'll get you on your day to watch King Jad. We got a lot of options today. We got King Jad doing bingo. We got Atlas doing the React. I also think that Taking L's are streaming right now. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I don't miss any shout-outs here for all the options you have today, because I want to make sure you have all the possibilities here.
Decompression stream.
Marked one streaming right now. Raw Phil, obviously. Dark Days Mirror, Taking L's. Rebsy is streaming as well. And there you go. So a lot of options. And, of course, like I said, Atlas and King Jad are doing their thing as well. But, all right. Big ups, everybody. I'll read the super chats now before we get you out of here, before I get divorced here, because we are way over time. But I thought it was worth it. I thought for a while, I was like, man, we might have to end quickly. But then it kind of really started picking up there about halfway through. Big ups to Ikiro, who says, the pre-stream started 30 seconds in already. Oh, it did? Oh, he was just live that early, Ikiro, you mean? Oh, you mean the pre-stream answering questions. I gotcha. Yeah. Every interview, the final thoughts here, every interview turns into the same thing. It doesn't matter what we're doing. It all turns into this, right? And I didn't expect it would do that, but this was just like, it sounded just like we're getting interviewed by Tolo. It sounds like we're getting interviewed by Craig the first time. It just all happens. It's so wild. Like he can't escape this. That's his legacy, right? That's just the fact of the matter. Because Jay
even
Russo says,
June was like, look, I don't get what you want me to say to that, Phil. This is like how it is. And pushing back on Phil's like, well, it should be this way. No.
That's kind of it. Jay Wusso says, Tom's already regretting this not even 5 minutes in. And Tom did hit it with a lot of classic, like... And then, because Phil talked for 15 minutes every fucking answer. Big ups Vikes, who says, his true element, never like this on his own stream. Yeah, he doesn't snort. He doesn't do anything. No face picking. He can really turn it off when he's in these interviews, can he? It's kind of interesting.
There was some hair, but most of the regular shit was just... absent.
That's true. That's the only way you get like any value from having him on, right? Because you don't. I mean, let's get real. No one really gives a shit about his thoughts on wrestling, right? It's about the other stuff that's interesting, and I think content creators know that, and they are going to ask about that shit endlessly. DSP Flag It says, see, you have to understand, I was the heel of elementary school. I was playing a role, and some kids just didn't get it and took it too seriously. Big ups, DSP Flag It. Mike says, Hooked on Hogan is the new WWE Champs reality show. Hooked on Hogan. Yeah, we got to get that going. Reno Ryan says, when Phil talks about wrestling, I really think he has some kind of actual autism. His knowledge of WWE and champions goes way beyond a normal hobby. And it just... He's an expert on it. And that is very clear. And not like a normal expert. He's like... He could probably be an extreme member of that subreddit. You know what I mean? If he had a fake name, which he might be. Who knows? But, you know, he just, like... knows it, man. He fucking knows everything about that show, that game, the past, the future. Yeah, she was cool back like 2 seasons ago, but now she's kind of not that great. It's amazing. Utterly Insane
His
says,
knowledge of his knowledge of like actual wrestling is sort of fan level. It's like casual fan level, but yeah, Champions, he knows like the meta of that game. He can talk for hours about like how it works and break it down. And he knows the best tactics and things. That's his passion, that dude.
Oh, God. Utterly Insane says, we assume Phil is subscribed to WWE to watch these, so has he exposed another 2 lies? He didn't watch it, and he isn't subbed to pay-per-view? Yeah, where can you watch those matches he mentioned? Do you have to be WWE Network? Because he said he quit those.
Because sometimes they'll put a free one on their YouTube channel, but like you can watch Mankind take a Hell in a Cell on the YouTube channel. But
there you go. Who knows?
Copes the whole thing, you'd probably have to pay for WWE Network.
A Peacock,
that, please.
Yeah. Copes Phil says, can't have multiple hobbies, only one is allowed. Yeah, that was kind of weird, right? He says, like, I wanted to make a Street Fighter my hobby. Like, you know, you can like other stuff.
Both. Yeah.
Not a big deal. Meth Bear says, Steve, watch out. I just saw Braveheart again, and apparently the Scotsmen love to kill the English. Is that true, Steve? Do you know about that?
It is, but I mean, to be fair, it's not unwarranted.
So. I'm innocent.
He's still there. I was going to start making fun of haggis.
I was trying to defend myself.
You're waiting for the tip to come in. That's what it was.
I was going to talk about haggis here in a second, but he's still here. Never mind.
Yeah, you go haggis, something else to say.
Well, haggis versus beans on toast. I'm going to choose beans on toast, if I'm honest.
Excuse the fuck out of me. Get that shit talk out of here.
Smitty Weberman Jensen says, didn't Phil spend his money on every system, though? Yeah, he bought every single system possible, multiple accessories. He bought everything possible, but yes, he was... what did he say? He didn't even try to push back on the credit card point. He just tried to say all these other facts and how other people spent more money than me, actually. That was kind of how he answered the question. Who's Poppin' says, seeing as 66% of the panel are Euro, I would just like to remind the North American heathens that football equals soccer, biscuit equals cookies, and chips equal fries. I think our audience understands that, Who's Poppin'. I know I do. But some people might need that reminder. Thank you. DSP Flag, it says, real ending, HBK... Oh, yeah, DSP Flag, I did read that one. The actual ending to the match that Philip botched.
Yeah.
TJ Gamebox in the house says, read my response. We did read that, TJ Gamebox. Thanks for all your hard work, sir, that you do. Legend. Hoskew says, hello, Jew, is how we measure DSP time now. BJ and AJ. Gotcha. Before Jew and after Jew. Okay, Hoskew. He says, the best part of this interview is that it would be the same exact interview if it was on Phil's stream. The exact same shit. That's he can't do normal interviews. It's not possible because it's not interesting. Scumbag Josh says, this is your legacy, Dave. This right here forever. And can't argue that. They talked about wrestling for about 10 minutes, and the rest was asking about drama shit. Like, they had to get the wrestling questions in, but...
Yeah, I wonder if you could do that, like, cut that down to just the wrestling bits.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like, well, 10, 15 minutes.
2 minutes left, okay. Yeah. Like, there's 2 minutes left. Like, okay, we need your third match, okay? And let me tell you, I haven't heard it, but I guarantee if you listen to a normal episode of that show, it's all wrestling all the time, right? Like, it's like back and forth about the wrestling. I don't know. I've never seen Desert Island Graps. Have you seen it?
It's longer on it. They usually dwell longer on it because obviously normally they're doing people who are into wrestling, like, are wrestlers, like indie wrestlers. And so they will talk more about wrestling for longer. They won't like skim over it like they did with Phil then.
Yeah.
But it's not just like, hey, I watch WWE and here's my favorite. It's like, hey, here's my experience in the industry and here's
okay, cool.
You know, so they
Gotcha.
talk about it a bit more.
Joe Dub says, because you were begging like you're on the street, and that's why people have issue with him spending on WWE Champions. It's not some little white lie, like he said. Utterly Insane says, now you know why he told viewers not to watch this. And yeah, that's interesting, because I see now why he wouldn't want his viewers to watch this shit. It's a detractor interview, basically. Joe Dub says, what is Phil addicted to more, pulling or lying? Pulling, but the lying is required to pull, right? So that's... If you're an addict and it's a bad addiction, you have to lie. That's just part of the job, right? It comes with the territory. If you want to keep your real addictions going, I'm not talking about I'm addicted to chocolate or whatever. I'm talking about the real addictions that fuck up your life. That comes with the territory, brother. Lying is hand in hand. You have to do it. Iwamoto says he gets dunked on in every interaction. He can't have a normal interaction. Iwamoto says Jeff Hardy jumping over the ladder was peak, and I actually agree with you that the first, my favorite match. Of course, I've watched way less matches than Philip or most people out there. The first table, ladders, and chairs match I thought was the hypest shit of all time when that happened. I thought that was fucking peak.
Mania 17.
I thought that was
technically
awesome.
the second one, but I know what you're talking about because that was incredible. But it's incredible all the same, though.
I'm talking the first one, the Edge and Christian, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy only, right?
On Raw?
That one was, I thought, the best thing ever. I was like, I can't believe this exists. It's incredible. But anyways,
it was a pretty incredible match with her as well. That one, yeah, true.
Yeah.
That laid the groundwork that made them push it further at Mania 7.
Those guys were all insane. Like, can you imagine putting yourself through that? It was an incredible spectacle. But
then we learned out
through
that how they put themselves through that was a lot of drugs. So,
especially the Hardys, yeah.
Anyways, and Lita, don't get me started on Lita. We'll never leave. All right. Anyways, King Jad, is your stream scheduled yet? Can I send people there? Yes, I can.
I'm live. Okay. No, I was just intro. The intro that Pixar made for Pixar animation.
Okay.
Going right now.
I'll redirect you to King Jad.
Supremely talented.
Very kind of you to redirect me. Any
Steve of the Dead final words here before we let everyone go?
It's getting to 9 hours. I'm scripting my last bits. I'm nearly done.
Big ups. Let's see ya. We'll see you this week. I think it's on Wednesday this week, but no promises. I can't remember exactly. I think it's Wednesday, but we'll see you then. Wednesday. Yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday then, doing something cool. Maybe message the show. Who knows? But you're all legends, all right? Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Burger.
This one goes out to the one and only, the big cat, the fat cat. Big ups.
I first saw you in Burger King. You took 2 seats 'cause that ass is way too big. Had a boyfriend, I realized, but you told him lies with your raccoon eyes. The DoorDash is here. Wipe away your tears. Got you extra fries, and they taste just right. Have no fear, there's no trolls here. Devin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Devin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Take you power walking on the beach, feasting on some sushi like you were the queen. Let me run some errands while you sleep. I can watch you play Skyrim all day this week. Have no fear, there's no trolls here. Devin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Raccoon
reality, like I tell you guys, every day when I wake up, that's the best day of my life. I feel like this next day is awesome. I have a beautiful wife who I love so much. She loves me and a family, Jasper, and you know the things we get to do together. You know, I definitely want more time with them and more family time. But I absolutely love my life today compared to how it used to be. Seriously, all those years back then, you'd be like, it's a whirlwind of crap. It was me. And by the way, I've told you guys about my past. How I used to drink way too much. I would be drinking constantly, all the time, because I was so stressed out. Honestly, when I started with this whole thing, I was depressed many years ago, a decade ago. I didn't like my life or anything. And basically, liquor was the way to kind of get through that. It was, I hate my life. I hate who I am. So let me just drink it all away and just keep pumping out fucking YouTube videos. I don't have to do that shit anymore. Like, I'm happy with who I am. I actually don't think clicking like on a live stream helps at all. So it really doesn't matter if this stream gets 100 likes or 2. I don't think it affects it.
I don't know, Rainbow.